Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 249. Back down in the basement with my co-host.
We have to do something next week.
Yeah, we do. Back down in the basement with my co-host and teenage son. Are you saying because it's episode 250?
Dynamite had a 250. That was the Osprey MJF going in now.
We always say we're going to do something and then we don't.
Because we're not good at doing things.
We're not good at doing things. But what we are going to do this week for sure is cover
the things we will do.
Crap ton of wrestling.
Yes. Or it's that sports entertainment.
Ice cold takes on some stand and deliver Wrestlemania nights 1 and 2. Probably speed run a lot of stuff this week because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got to expedite things a bit.
In-depth AEW Dynamite as always. Back to speed running NXT and Raw probably. Maybe
no
a couple
TNA for all you fans there.
No TNA that are missing it dearly, or ROH, or what stuff we used to talk about. We may hit a couple things from SmackDown as it's happening tonight. It's April 25th right now. We'll put this out tomorrow, April 26th. And it's been a short week, but a long week nonetheless somehow. Hope everyone had a great long weekend. Checked out Wrestlemania. Hopefully you liked it better than we did. We'll talk about that.
I mean, I feel like we might be have our finger on the pulse this time.
I think you're right. I feel like our opinions will be similar to a lot of people's opinions.
Which is rare for a main roster, but I think we do have our fingers on the pulse this time.
I think so. Which is very rare for us.
For them, yeah, I would say. Actually, even in AEW sometimes with like Tony Storm or whatever.
Yes.
We're in the minority.
We are in the minority on certain things. But
yeah, we will.
The majority's come around to our viewpoint, I think.
I think we're so ahead of them.
We are. That's exactly.
They need to catch up, you know.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, but long weekend.
It was
because we skipped the last day too. Actually,
we did. We took an extra long weekend.
We probably would have talked about that though.
We did. We talked about touring the city and whatnot.
Getting shoes and crap, yeah.
Getting your shoes. And then you've got coming up next weekend will be an early record again because it's going to be a
big week, yeah.
Making plans to go out to see a Marvel film that is getting good reviews, you're happy to hear?
Yeah. And then...
It's friends, kind of between two friends' birthdays?
Literally, exactly.
I hear Hudson's driving you guys up.
Yeah.
I was talking to him today.
So that'll be maybe awful.
Well, I mean, as long as somebody navigates for the boy while he drives.
So I guess I'll have to ride shotgun then.
Yeah,
I would trust
think
the other two.
You should call that. You should call that now.
You have to see the car.
Is that the rule? That was the rule when I was a kid too.
I think that's the rule.
When I was
Sometimes I shout it anyways just to spite
I think
Mom.
Shotgun rules may vary regionally. Let us know in the comments. All you people who comment.
There's two
of you.
Audience interaction. Yeah,
two people.
Both of you let us know. It's
one every week guaranteed. My man Kevin, guaranteed.
And Ghost Jam, I trust Ghost Jam.
Ghost Jam most of the time. He pops in with salient comments.
He messages me, and sometimes I remember to check it.
And he's going to MLP, so maybe we'll...
Yeah, message me, Ghost Jam. I'll see it in a week.
Yeah, because he's...
I actually feel bad, because there are times where, because I don't... I swear to God, I don't get the notifications.
That sucks at social media in the world.
I'm pretty good at it.
And you have a podcast
in general
that is...
Just not on there.
Promote
yeah, it's just that when it comes to something that it's actually applicable to, then I suck.
Mm-hmm.
I only suck when it matters.
That's right.
Therefore, I am great.
You are great the rest of the time. When it doesn't matter, you really shine. When it doesn't matter.
It's like my creativity is on 2K where it means nothing.
Right, and all your trivial knowledge of wrestling that's taken up real estate.
All my
in
brain
your head
information
from useful
wrestling.
things.
Yeah, I see. When it doesn't matter, I thrive.
Locally, the Toronto Maple Leafs are up 3-0 in their series. I watch every game. I don't really care that much. No offense to any of my friends listening, but I go to hang out with a group of dads.
The people in my last year were talking about doing a watch for the playoffs tomorrow night, and I was saying I was working anyways. But literally, I asked if it was because they're talking about just playoffs, so I was like, is it basketball or hockey? Because you could tell me it's either, and I'll believe you.
And they're both on at exactly the same time.
And then my friend said that too, and I was like, yeah, so you could just tell me, and I would believe you.
Yeah. So I go to support them and just have fun and talk to them while they live and die.
Get drunk.
Yeah, sometimes.
Because you get really drunk all
the
time.
Me, I'm always wasted. You know me. But yeah, they live and die with the Leafs, so things are going well so far, so I'm happy for them. Although sometimes that just sets up greater disappointment.
I assume it will.
In the near future. I mean, it's been since 67 or something like that they won.
Sad.
So it's been quite a while.
What, 40 years plus almost another 20?
I think it was 67.
That's like 58
I should
years,
know
I think that's like 58 years almost.
Resident of near Toronto. It's older than me. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's sad.
I don't know. We don't have much else to talk about, and we should probably get going. So let's do it. Timestamps are available if you want to jump to anything or jump back and hear us talk again about things because we do such a great job. Because that'll happen. But anyways, let's move into talking about wrestling. It is our first segment every week. It's wrestling news and rumors. I will admit it was a little easier to not talk about ratings this week. That's 2 weeks in a row. It's dead and gone, people. Nobody reached out and said, hey, the only reason I listen to you is for the ratings or a large reason or any reason. So they're gone.
That's
you want
crazy.
ratings?
You're
You
actually-
can't have them. Go look somewhere
This
else.
is your John Cena arc.
You know what I noticed? Doesn't it look how are like the cameras super crooked on the thing?
Yes.
Yet it's not on here.
Maybe the whole room's crooked.
Maybe everything is crooked.
Everything
I
is
don't know.
crooked, therefore
It's a very subjective
nothing
term.
is crooked.
What is crooked even? But anyways, my first story is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're kind of happy to hear it. There are plans for Karrion Kross to be given more on TV.
If you gave me that exact thing like
You would have laughed.
4 years ago, I would have been angry.
Yes. So we have a long-standing not love of him, and I'm not going to say we love him in ring yet,
Still,
but
his
the
character's
character-
completely different.
he's been doing like this devil's advocate thing, right? Where he
It
doesn't
really
wrestle.
reminds me of Sean O'Hare. Yeah,
He just causes trouble backstage. And then he cut a work shoot.
like a pipe bomb-esque promo.
Right.
It's like crazy
It
good.
was good. It was really good.
Has
And-
to be laced in reality. Definitely isn't like off the cuff, off the record or
Yeah.
whatever. As
like basically mad about Logan Paul getting a shot in the AJ Styles thing and how he's been told to be a good soldier and it's gotten him nowhere.
yeah, but it was really
Um,
killer.
and even Scarlett did a good job of like acting like, oh man, you're going too far. Like you need to,
Like, it's not
just
supposed to
facial
happen.
wise, not
Yeah.
even really saying anything. Just kind of like, whoa, calm down here. You're going to get in trouble sort of thing. So obviously it was planned, but really well executed. And I love when they blur the lines between reality and
no,
the
yeah,
show.
it's hard for me
My
to buy
favorite
that
stuff.
completely legit, but you know,
Kernel of
Um,
truth. I love the kernel of truth stuff, and it feels like there's a kernel of truth
Yeah,
there
I
that
agree.
they're just
That's what I
expanding
thought,
on,
yeah.
right? And so yes, there are apparently big plans for him.
Mhm.
So whatever that means, good for him.
speaking of big things, many things were acquired and lost over Mania weekend. And the biggest thing was that Ciampa lost his beard.
Not since I was early watching Ring of Honor, and he was like the young dude. Do I remember him?
Because like
beardless.
I think it was some fall, and I showed you he like has a crazy gash
that
on
he
his
needed
chin,
to
so he needed to
maintain.
shave.
He needed
it.
to care for it and get rid of the beard. And
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
which is so yeah, he's like
looks nuts.
it's insane.
Looks.
It honestly doesn't feel like it's him anymore.
I wonder if he'll grow it back like as soon as he can, or if
I
he's-
think so.
I think so too.
But like it just doesn't feel like him anymore. It's actually crazy. But the real big news was on the opposite end of things being lost, things being acquired. Was WWE randomly acquired AAA.
Right. Announced that at Mania, right? I think.
Yeah, over Mania weekend. That's crazy.
And looks
It's
like they're
very
really
weird.
interested in Vikingo,
I would
which is
assume
now
so.
I think his name is just Vikingo as well.
I think they called him that in AEW too. I want
It
to say
makes
but I
sense,
don't know.
but that guy needs to dial it back a bit because I feel like he's gonna
He's
get
gonna
hurt.
die. Yeah. Then we got NXT and AAA doing Worlds Collide, bringing that name back for June 7th. So I think it'll be during the day.
Yeah.
Because it's the same day as Money in the Bank.
I really think we need to give credit for this luchador craze to El Grande Americano.
I agree.
He is bringing luchadoring back.
Bringing Lucha back to the mainstream,
That's
but
it.
making it big, making it popular,
'Cause
making it
he's,
sane.
Been a legend for a long time, just not in North America, right?
Unsung hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been, and he got blacklisted for a while, but
Right.
like a really courageous
As the
comeback,
AI
yeah.
videos tell me.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen people make the point that like, it's clearly not Chad Gable. Chad Gable says thank you. He says gracias.
Listen,
Chad Gable does not wear a mask.
We saw them in the same
saw them in the
place
same shot.
backstage
Exactly.
early on.
And
so it
Chad
can't be.
Gable's sick. He has a doctor's note.
Yeah, that's right.
So
He can't be wrestling, so it's not him. A doctor
he's-
says he can't
doctor
wrestle.
literally
He
said he
wouldn't
can't wrestle. So you can't say it's him.
Did you hear Bianca Belair got injured at Mania?
Oh.
Devastating injury. Broken
Okay,
finger,
so-
no
yeah,
big deal.
okay. Hey, that's not true. Mystico stopped the match once because he broke his finger
that's
against
true.
Del Rio.
He
So,
did.
oh, more news.
Took some heat
Del
for that.
Rio got released from AAA. I was telling
Shocking.
you,
Well,
which I thought was funny because
WWE acquires them, fires Del Rio first thing.
which is even more interesting because he was their champion,
or whatever he was called.
El Patron, I
Yeah.
think still.
Is he still?
But he's their champion,
Yeah. Not
Which I-
anymore.
which is why I thought them acquiring that was interesting. But yeah,
Do you hear anything news about Kathy Kelly? I thought this was
I
strange.
did see.
She's been training in ring and taking promo
Do you
classes.
want to use her as a manager?
Plans. Meltzer, for what it's worth, is confirming that they have plans to turn her into a manager.
I'm okay with her as a manager. I think that could be interesting.
I
don't need to see her
why not.
wrestle, but like as a manager, I got no problem with
Yeah,
that. I don't
if
know
she's
why
good.
I would.
This was me looking. I was like, I just want to find 4 news stories and move on because I'm
Yeah, I
tired.
got 4. Last.
Me too.
Oh wait, no, I have 2 more. Never mind.
I got one more.
WWE are taking action against the leaked videos of that roast of WrestleMania they were doing
Yeah.
with that random guy who was on commentary once.
Yeah,
So they don't want, apparently, like, I don't think the reception was great for that.
No, it was not.
The guy.
Yeah.
But, like, if they don't want videos of it so badly, why would you even allow this to happen?
And
like, they sanctioned this. Why would you allow this?
And good luck getting rid of footage in 2025.
Why would you let this happen then?
By trying to get rid of it, you're more likely to motivate all the people
to
that
spread
hate
it around.
the Fed to, like, get it out there more.
Like, why did they who thought this was a good idea?
Maybe it's a really above the rim marketing thing and they really want it out there more. So they're saying they don't want it out there at all. So then it gets pushed out there more.
You're saying you're working yourself into a shoot?
Yeah, that's right.
And whatever the Hogan phrase is?
Yeah.
It's
something like that.
so weird to me. It's like, it's so like, the whole thing confuses me.
I haven't paid much attention to it. I've heard it's been in the headlines a lot, but
I don't understand why.
I don't either.
Any of it.
I don't know.
Why at all.
I agree. Last thing I had is not surprising. This says WWE talent is more confused than frustrated by The Rock's Wrestlemania comments.
The Rock is actually pissing me off. It's so
stupid. And then basically they used him to boost ticket sales. Then he disappeared.
Yeah.
Then he comes out just being critical afterwards. And that one stars says that the card is, quote, at the mercy of The Rock.
Yeah, and he just puts it down constantly.
I feel like they're building some big Rock Triple H thing.
I don't think they actually are.
I hope
think
they're not.
Capitalize
and I'll be annoyed if they will. But
I think they could. I don't think that they actively are. But, like, I feel like it's something, like, I don't disagree that it could happen. I just don't think that that's what they're actively doing.
But corporate Rock they could turn it into something. So let me ask you, what did John Cena get from becoming corporate? He already had the title shot.
I think the heel turn would have been better without The Rock.
The WWE is at risk right now of creating moments but not stories, right? And my two big examples right now, Big E, that was like incredible segment, drop the ball. Cena turns heel, incredible segment, drop the ball.
I like some of his promos, but, like, they had nothing to do with The Rock.
It's like they're going, how do we get a viral moment? Who cares about the rest? Who cares about what happens after
The Rock,
that?
like,
and that's fair, I guess.
Because wasn't it some comments by the one guy from Busted Open, right? That's what it was with him and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And he was making a good point.
Man, did he rant, though. And that's why we will never be famous enough, because we are too reasoned and calm when we need to, like, get mad and yell and
he
scream.
made good points on The Rock.
I know.
Because he doesn't give a shit. And it's so... He'll just disrupt things for his own gain. And, like...
And then he just gives the snide comments of, like, oh, hey, just watch the show.
And it's all work, but watch it anyways.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw a point out, like, you don't need to watch a TV show and have it pointed out to you every week that it's fake.
I know.
And if it's really great, it doesn't really matter. But if it sucks, it's like, it's kind of ruining it.
And The Rock's doing that thing where he's going out of his way to say how these things don't bother him, which means that these things bother him.
Oh, they 100% do. He's always been like that.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? Like, just watch the show. I don't care what you think. Yeah, you do, though. Because you're putting time out of your day to, like, address these things.
He's such a fragile person.
Seems that way.
I just can't. Speaking of that kind of stuff, there's pitches for Cena and Travis Scott to do a tag match.
Hooray.
Which is so great because, you know, Travis Scott was such an integral part of Mania.
He added like 3-4 stars to that main event.
Yep.
You know? We'll get to that.
Which would bump it up to 3 or 4 stars.
3-4 stars.
Oh, -3, yeah. And apparently Bad Bunny possibly against them.
Okay.
Because, you know, need more celebrity. As far as celebrities go, Bad Bunny's not bad.
Yeah.
However, that's not making that seem more good to me.
TKO's version of WWE is becoming very tough for me in terms of the celebrity and sponsorship and the rest of that. It really, really sucks.
The only sponsorship that I enjoy is Dude Wipes because I think it's hilarious.
So you did love the Dude Wipes coming back.
I don't remember what match it was on for.
I made a note somewhere.
Okay.
But I shortened them all, so I don't know. It was
on for the one match at Mania, and I remember laughing because I thought it was really funny.
You did laugh.
But other than that, I think it's stupid. Like, they had this big-ass game logo in the middle of the mat Mania. I get they have logos around the mat now, which is whatever.
Like 10 logos on the mat.
There's 15,000 different logos.
But and on the turnbuckles.
Yes, that's also bothersome. But you should always... I think you should have you can have the sponsorships, whatever. I don't like it, but whatever. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
The WWE logo should always be in the middle. Because, like, for Raw or whatever, they have the WWE logo in the middle. At least have that.
To push your own brand.
Yes, but, like, for the Netflix debut, they had Fortnite in the middle. Are you kidding me?
You love that.
Like... I hate the TKO era so much.
The constant cut to here's 7 celebrities from Netflix shows and
that you don't know. You're just waiting for someone that we know.
So it's really nice. Like
Or like the amount of ads at Mania. What was the one with or like the magic thing with Lexus King at Stand and Deliver? What was that?
I feel like we pared down Mania to manageable because like of the whatever 4.5 hour shows or whatever, like an hour and a half of it is completely filler and useless and does nothing.
And then the matches also weren't long enough.
So people watching it live or going to see it in person, sorry for you. The way to watch it is the next
like
day,
an hour
or later, and fast forward all the nonsense.
I think an hour late is like the minimum you should be starting
so
that
too.
at.
Anyways, we should probably get into talking about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to put them all together. It's going to be in order: Stand and Deliver, Mania Night 1, Mania Night 2. We'll talk about all of those right now. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not afraid to say it. I think Stand and Deliver was the best show of the weekend offered by WWE. So you watched most, not all?
I watched 3 matches.
3 of 5, I think
really paid attention to 2.
So I thought this weekend was highlighted by some really good triple threat matches, one on each night.
Yeah, I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was like they mastered the formula for triple threats and then sort of
just
dropped the ball on some other stuff. But so the opener for Stand and Deliver was Ethan Page challenging Ricky Saints for the North American Championship. So this was essentially Page focusing on Saints' lower back. I wrote down Confidence Breaker. I don't remember what it was. Confidence Breaker and Ego's Edge. I don't remember what it is.
I don't know.
Wrote it because commentary called it, so I don't know what it was either. But anyways, that got an earfall. Then it's Twisted Grin is avoided by Saints. Spear, Rochambeau. Ricky Saints wins in just under 13 minutes. I quite like this. I thought it was a good old school story. It's kind of like the methodical heel shows up with a game plan and executes it in targeting the back. And then you've got the babyface taking a ton of punishment and just getting little flurries here and there when he can. Then finds a spot to make his impactful combination for the finish. So, and I think Page is just really good in that role, right? Like as kind of the steady pace, not working super fast, really strong heel. And Starks, this is one of my favorite Starks matches since he's come over. I've been sort of underwhelmed by him, but I quite like this. I like this more than almost anything on Mania Night 1. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was fine, honestly. Like it was. I don't remember paying a ton of attention to it, but I remember seeing some of it.
Yeah.
It was one of the ones I was in the room for because I think I just was there when you started the show.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple matches I wanted to see, but like it was solid. As an opener, I probably would have swapped it with the one after at least, I think. But it was still good.
I liked it more than you, I think. So over under accurate.
We both picked the pre-show. Oh, I picked the pre-show, sorry, which gives me 1. Do we have like a counter so that we can keep track of this?
A counter?
Or like do you have something you can write down on since
I do.
Okay. Since we can't just do like a running tally.
The clipboard's making an appearance, folks.
Makes an appearance. Okay. So off the pre-show, I get 1 point for picking
Stand and Deliver.
Paxley and Dolan, right?
Jack
which you did not get.
And Dad. So you get 1.
Yeah. Okay, and then we both picked this one with the 7, so we both get 7.
1 plus 7. Okay.
So I'm still up 1, I guess.
You
That's
are.
the point with that.
Over under accurate on that one.
Over under accurate.
So give me Cage
3.5 from Cage Matt. Oh wait, no, sorry. 7.02 from them, and then 3.5 from Meltzer. My bad.
I'm a little bit over. I went 3 3/4, but pretty close.
I'm not going to because I don't think I paid enough attention. I'll do the next one since I actually.
That's fair. Next one is the Tag Team Championship NXT version. It's Hank and Tank taking on Fraxium.
Actually billed as Fraxium.
That was one of my notes. Officially called Fraxium now, I think for the first time.
At least on NXT, I feel like it's the first time. I think TNA might have called it too.
And we're told this is technical skill versus guts, which is fair.
Fair.
Right? Hank and Tank unleash a flurry of offense that you said you thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Fraxium respond with their own, which you said was so good.
They're just so quick and consistent with it. Just like keep going at it.
A whole bunch of stuff happens. And then we get a huge Hank Bossman slam to Fraser. Axiom gets taken out on the floor. They do their belly smash thing and their finisher, which is
like the shoulder check power slam thing. That's
right.
Okay.
So Hank and Tank win after 14 minutes.
I thought this was really good.
It was awesome, and the crowd was super hot.
Into it, as you would like, and then like Fraxium do the bulk of like the work.
Yes.
But like they had some really good near falls.
And Hank and Tank have really good energy and really good cardio.
Yeah.
Like they go.
They go with a great pace. They don't always have the most like technically interesting offense.
They're smash mouth, but like nonstop.
In an entertaining way, yeah. Yes. And then Fraxium gave you that actual wrestling. There was a lot of great near falls and some big moves. Hank remember he went for the suicide dive and landed perfect on the announce table.
Yes.
And just was like laid out there.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of good stuff here. And as someone not really watching this, Hank and Tank, like I don't think the world of them, but this was as expected. Fraxium really lifted them up.
They've improved a ton, and
they've
crowd
improved
likes
a lot.
them.
Fraxium are great opponents for that.
No heel here other than Fraser, really.
No, and
didn't matter.
I thought it still worked really well, and it built like I don't love their finisher, but the build up to getting to that point worked really well, and like it was the result that I think makes sense.
Hank and Tank are like I call them a high motor heavyweight team.
I feel like they're maybe like better is the word, but like they're like a newer, maybe better version of Heavy Machinery because they're like the kind of big-ish guy, smash mouth team that's like really popular and does like the kind of cartoony shtick, but not too much. And I think there's like because they have better not work rate, but better pacing and just better energy than Heavy Machinery did because they were solid, but they weren't the best.
And their connection to the crowd, I think, is they're like this homegrown, organic NXT.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, right?
Aaron Walker was doing the security guy thing for a while.
Way better than the night one tag title match.
Yeah.
I was really into this. We don't get a ton of strong tag matches these days, and this was one, I think.
This was pretty good, yeah. Especially by WWE standards, I really liked it.
Did we both pick this, obviously?
We both picked this, yeah. But I got a 5 and you got a 3.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. And over under accurate?
Okay, I won't screw it up this time. 8.64 from Cage Match.
8.64. So I am under. I went 4 stars.
I agree. Meltzer's a little over. He's 4.25.
Yeah. Okay, I would accept that.
Well, this was really good.
Really good.
I feel like it would have been different in Black and Gold, but a match I wouldn't have been mad at in Black and Gold.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Which
really
to me
fun
is always good to see. I really wish Fraxium could have come around at that time because them versus like Undisputed Era, Profits, War Raiders would have been great. But they're still my favorite part of it.
And this crowd compared to a lot of Mania was I agree. Way better.
And Fraxium just wrestled on SmackDown and they won, so I don't know if they're staying up together. But
or if they're being Roxanne Perez.
Or if they're getting Roxanne Perez, right? So I don't know, but I hope they like. I mean, here's the thing: they're kind of the glue that holds this division together.
They are.
But what else are they gonna do there?
I know. There's nothing else they can do other than finish their story of their whatever their relationship is.
I also think it's worth it to take them up as a tag team. So
it is because them on a singles. But outside of that feud would be awesome, and the matches would be awesome. But I feel like faith.
That feud would only be awesome in NXT because they would get the attention it needs.
And that's their peak, probably.
Kind of like how DIY had their big feud in NXT, but like now they don't really do much. And for me, I think Fraxium would also breathe life into whichever tag division they get put in.
Bring them to main roster and keep telling the same story.
You could.
Whether people are aware of it or not, just pick up doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I feel like you should put them on Raw because I feel like Raw's tag division is a little weaker.
And I watch Raw.
And you watch Raw. But either way, they could really liven up the tag division.
Yes, then we get, what's his name, Penn with Lexus King, and Penn makes the cup disappear, and Teller's there instead of
that was so
in Heat gear. So I don't know if you know Penn and Teller, but they're like a comedy / magic act where the Teller never speaks.
I
But anyways, that happened. Then we get the women's North American ladder match. Thea Hale, Zarya, Sol Ruka, Lola Vice, Izzy Dame, Kalani Jordan. And I noted that Thea Hale had no Eddie Edwards theme today, which
so
was nice.
Weird. I don't know.
And the Cullings show up, but it's really only to base for Thea Hale being
I did see that spot.
Pushed off the ladder by Zarya. Right? So anyways, this ends up Zarya pulls Kalani off the ladder, throws her over the top onto a group of people. Zarya, Ruka are at the top of the ladder, so like, oh no, things are going to come into the head between these two. They do exchange strikes.
I saw they're called Zaruka.
Ooh, nice. Sol flips up, kicks Zarya off. Izzy Dame comes in for catches a soul snatcher, and then one to Thea Hale as well. Ruka climbs up, grabs the title for the win. Almost 15 minutes. Pretty fun car crash of a match. Crowd was pretty into it as well. I think it was good, but not great, right? Like a lot of these, and it's to be expected. This is developmental. How many of these people have been in a lot of ladder matches, right? So they're kind of figuring this out as they go, I think. No real crazy spots. We got our soul snatchers, which is what everybody wanted. The culling come out to really just be a crash mat, which I thought was a strange choice. Everyone got some time to look good. I didn't think there was anything really innovative or that memorable, but I thought overall it was a good match, and I think Ruka's a good choice. She feels like she's perfectly babyface North American champion level.
Yeah,
right?
she feels that level. I mean, now she's got 2 titles technically.
Right.
She's speed
She's
champion.
speed champ. That's right. And I think this should lead to a heel turn for
Zarya.
to feud for this title at some point.
I
But
feel like that's the way you have to go.
I thought it was fun. I don't know what your thoughts were.
I did not watch this one.
You did not watch this one.
I'm
So who
through to the main event. I have not seen anything.
talk about our certainty score and picks, please?
Okay, certainty score. We both crapped out on this one.
So 0.
I believe.
Big fat 0.
Yep. And
Over under accurate?
Over under. It's 7.47 from Cage Match.
I went under. I went 3.5, which would mean a 7. So under.
3.5 from Meltzer.
Yeah, we agree. I'm on with me and the Melts. Tight. He's a very polarizing figure, eh?
Especially these days, yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent.
I don't really care.
Like, I don't know if he knows anything. I don't really. Sometimes he does.
I
Sometimes
trust
he's full
that
of
he
crap.
does, but I'm
I don't
not
know.
like gonna take it for fact.
Right.
And like same as the star ratings. Star ratings, it's like I feel like he has a good basis to go off of, but again, it's not fact.
Then we move into the family taking on Dark State, right? So this was a lot of Crucifino's isolated, dominated, then Stax's, and Tony's just kind of standing there. We're really putting Osiris, whatever, over
Griffin.
as a powerhouse, which he is.
But what's Saquon Sugars?
pretty
I feel like they haven't labeled him as anything yet.
He is what is he? They talk about him
The wild
nonstop.
card.
The wild card. He's
Yeah.
the blah, blah, blah. Look in his eyes. Anyways, Tony fires up to save Stax from a beatdown, does the thing where he throws Stax over on top of Dark State on the floor. But then part of the story of this, right, was what's going on with the underboss Stax and the boss Tony, because they've been teasing all kinds of issues. Well, it comes to a head. Stax kicks Tony
in the little D'Angelo's.
Right. And then leaves him to take the shield bomb. I don't know what they're calling it.
The dark bomb.
I call it that partially to spite you, to be honest. And so Tony takes the loss here. The match was fine. Like
dark statement.
I'll say it again when we get to NXT this week. You know Dark State's not losing yet. So it's kind of just like watching them in a one-sided match. And then the Stax Tony story playing out within that match, kind of the way I expected. So the boss and underboss not on the same page. Underboss turns. I thought it was a fine match, right? Like a little better than average. Not to reveal my score already, but did you see this one or no?
Nope, I haven't seen this or the women's. I just watched the main event today.
So we just watched the main event. We were late getting to that. So did we pick this one? Of course we did.
Yes. Certainty scores. Let's take a gander.
I'm guessing 6.
Yeah, both of us.
Because who would have not picked them? And then over under accurate.
So it was for cage match a 6.07.
Okay, I went slightly over. I went 3.25, which would mean a 6.
Meltzer went 3.
3. Okay, so I'm over both. I thought it was fine, like a little better than average. Then we get the main event, which is a triple threat.
What about the women's?
The women's what?
The 4-way.
What did I miss?
The 4-way.
I don't even have it. Who was it?
That's crazy. Becker, Julia,
goodness.
Parker, Jordan Grace.
You are correct, sir.
That's crazy.
I totally gapped on putting that in because I went back and just
That's like
kind of
a pretty major one too.
It was a pretty major one. What do you remember from it?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? Well, this is going to be interesting.
This is very professional.
Obviously, Vicaire wins. I do know
Vicaire
that.
did win. I know I saw the spot where Parker stacks them all up in the corner and does the butt drop to all of them.
Right.
I did see that. So like I might have been in the room for. I know I didn't watch the match though.
I did watch the match, but apparently forgot. But
apparently that means nothing.
It was 16 and a half minutes. Parker took the pinfall, I believe, right?
I mean, that's kind of what you figured she was there for, right? So
I did really like it. I remember it was fast paced, lots of action, near falls all over the place. But the fans are super into Stephanie Vicaire. I always say, unfortunately, that stupid thing that Booker loves so much. Everybody got their chance to do stuff in this one. Wow, I can't believe I gapped on it almost completely. I'm trying to think my overall impressions. I remember I quite enjoyed it. We both picked Vicaire.
We did both pick
and what
Vicaire.
was our certainty score?
Yours was a 5, mine's a 2. I guess that was like one of my things I had left.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm got over under accurate. I'll pick my score to kind of not remembering much. So
Cage match was a 7.74.
I am gonna be under that.
And Meltzer was 4.
Wow, I'm willing to go 3. I'd say 3.5 on that one. I liked it. It was fun. I don't remember that's the thing. Like, I don't remember a ton of details, right? Whereas from like Fraxium match, I remember stuff, even if I hadn't written anything down.
Or the main event, even though we just watched it, but still, like, that was pretty memorable.
So yeah, forgot that match, but it happened and it was pretty good. I liked it. Then we do get the main event for real now, right? It's the triple threat: Oba, Trick, Javon Evans. Started off really fast. I felt like this match was did a really good job of all three of them pretty much all the time. It wasn't a lot of one guy's
Yeah,
out.
I agree. They kept everybody
in the mix was pretty much involved, right? So Oba had an impressive gorilla press of Trick really easily early on.
There was the double Samoan drop he did.
Or double Samoan, double spine buster.
He like actually was holding them both up though.
And then Trick did that thing where he leaped off of Oba was on his hands and knees. Trick jumped off him.
And he like caught a springboard. That was weird.
They sold it like Evans took the worst of it, but it didn't really look like that in real time.
There's one spot where didn't Evans do a moonsault to the outside. He threw Trick back in, did like this weird like springboard into Hurricane Ron. Then like he did that cool like it looked like he did a spin-a-rooney, but like tripped Trick as he did it.
That's
like,
what it did look like.
He was going crazy in this. Like Javon,
and the crowd loves him
easily. Yeah, he's getting the best reactions. He was easily the best part of this for me. Like he's breathing life into the match. I think
he got a couple near falls that the crowd was.
He did. He was like hitting the big cutter and the splash on Oba. The finish, Oba like kind of basically no-sold the splash, which I didn't like.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like they were afraid to do Oba and Trick because they had Thorpe in.
They seem afraid to do Oba in singles. He does very few singles matches.
Yeah,
he's almost always.
I feel like they're really afraid to do it with Trick because he won the title with Thorpe, and then Javon was here, which I'm not complaining about because I thought Javon made this really great.
I thought Trick was pretty overshadowed by both the other guys.
I agree because I don't think Trick's that great. I think Oba is a really cool powerhouse, and maybe isn't as great on his own because like when we saw him against Wesley, he was fine. But Javon, I think I was saying to you how funny it is how much better Javon is than Trick.
He is.
Because they put so much work into Trick and want Trick to be good so bad. But Javon's just here, like, more interesting on the mic naturally. Just better, more gifted in the ring. Like, and
he's not just a flippy, like, bouncy guy. He can wrestle, he can sell, he can talk. He has his own
some good strikes
style.
here. Yeah, like, he feels like he's actually doing his own thing.
Yes.
I think he's someone they need to focus on.
And he's 20 or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also someone I would have liked back in the black and gold days.
For sure. And we had Oba throwing Javon through the barricade, and then Trick hit a.
They had to
bookend
take that one because I remember he threw Javon in the barricade,
right?
And it didn't break, but I could tell by the sound it was kind of loose, and then he did it again, and
Trick immediately hit a
bookend through the table, which looked pretty good too.
Oba. Yeah, I thought
really
Oba
good.
Retains, obviously hits the fall from Graves to Evans. I didn't write down how long it was. Felt like
just under 17.
I was going to say felt 15-ish. Excellent triple threat. Like I said, all three involved almost the entire time. Kind of three different styles, right? I don't know what you'd say Trick was.
A little bit.
Trick feels like sports entertainment.
Yeah, because I feel like the way he throws punches are
versus kind of mega athlete versus powerhouse kind of deal, right? I thought they meshed really well. The crowd was super into it. Again, Oba in these multi-man matches looks really good. Javon Evans stood out here. He is the real deal. He just keeps adding some mass, and he's going to be huge star. Right?
I agree. Yeah,
he doesn't have to get crazy big, but if he can get like Montez forward size,
I agree.
Right, because Montez was pretty skinny when he started too, and he's already bigger than he was. I don't personally care, but I know the machine cares.
Yeah,
less than when it was redacted, but
still, you gotta have
somewhat.
Yeah,
Trick was fine in his role, but the other two really stood out to me.
Yeah,
especially Javon. Excellent match.
So I didn't pick this one. You did.
Yeah, how many points?
4.
Ooh.
I think that gives you the.
We'll check the total here. Over under accurate.
Cage match was a 9.09.
Too high.
And Meltzer's a 4.5.
4.25 for me.
I agree.
4.5's not crazy though.
No.
All right, so let's see.
It was really strong.
8, 13, 19, 21 for you. 10, 16, 21, 25 for me. The champ. The
that makes
greatest
sense. You watch it.
Let's roll into Mania Night 1, where I'll try not to forget about a match existing. That's crazy. Honestly forgot about it. That's why we shouldn't wait a week for me to talk about
Not even like
things.
A bad match either.
No, it was good. I liked it. So, again, I started taking notes on night 1, and then everything
Realized
crapped out.
Was foolish.
Crapped out near the end. My computer restarted in the main event. So then, I also just highlighted because I don't want to I feel like a week later, I don't need to go too in depth of what happened in the match because people have either seen it or whatever. There might be a couple counting on us to fill them in, but
That's foolish.
so there's a DJ on the stage.
For Jey Uso's entrance, yeah.
Was that what it was?
I think it was, yeah.
And Raiders cheerleaders are in the crowd. And then I've made a note.
Jey Uso's
So many ads and sponsors and celebrities that filled so much time and made this experience so much worse for me.
Yeah, the stage is really cool. It had like the giant buildings and
super impressive as it's
like
gonna
actually crowd people in the stage like working there. So I thought that was kind of neat.
It was unique.
And they had like an opening door, kind of like they used to do in Madison Square Garden, where like the door open, but the doors have screens on it, so it's like yeah, and then just like overloading your senses with ads.
So much.
Buy this, buy this, buy this. You want this? You might want to buy this.
Yeah. So it is Jey Uso challenging Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Main event Jey Uso.
Right, main event in the curtain jerker Jey Uso.
We should call him curtain jerker.
Barrett, at one point early on, we agreed with him because he's kind of implying the other two commentators are idiots for their participation in the Yeats and Jey Uso's entrance in general. And I said our first brand is Slim Jim, some fan contest right away, right?
Yep. Slim Jim's kind of nice because it's like kind of classic.
There's
in terms of being a sponsorship.
It is a little bit of nostalgia.
You know what I mean? The Macho Man
stuff. Some Saudi
but...
princes at ringside. Awesome.
Yeah, because gotta get that in there.
Cole points out the Spanish announcers are also awkwardly yeeting.
Yeah. Right? What's one's there? I think either Carlos Cabrera or Marcelo Rodriguez are not there. One of them is, one of them's not.
I was very amused by Jey Uso wearing a vest emblazoned with main event in a giant font on the back. The entire back of it was main event, which I thought was just delicious. I said Jack's not a fan of a logo in the middle of the ring. Celebrates the return of Dude Wipes.
Yeah.
Hydration station spotted, so we were happy. All the tropes.
Dude Wipes was one of the ring logos, and yeah, the hydration station makes him giggle because, of course, they had to give it a name for that instead of just like the prime stand. It's the hydration station, and it's also in the game.
Yeah.
And you can like knock it over and then like throw prime bottles at people, or there's a giant prime bottle.
Sweet.
I'd love hitting people with the giant prime bottle. It makes me giggle.
So the story early on is that Jey is so ready for Gunther. Gunther needs to escape to the floor, and it's like a couple minutes in, and I am already audibly calling for McAfee to shut up, and I don't say shut up very often.
I think it took us less
few minutes in.
Took us less than 2 minutes.
He detracts, man, and I actually more than ever heard people being critical of him.
That's
or
good.
saw.
See, they're getting to us.
They are coming around.
He's
He's too much.
I hate him.
Like, you can't be so excited for, like, mundane's too strong a word, but you know what I mean. There's nowhere to go when you're excited by the simplest
And I feel
stuff.
like his excitement is not only too much too soon, but too forced as well. And like some of the things he says, I'm like, what? It's like Booker, but I think Booker makes more nonsensical comments, but Pat's also bad.
This is like jumping way ahead, but while it's fresh in my mind. On Raw, when Gunther murdered McAfee, and I forget, I was probably typing or something, and then I looked up, and so Cole's like, I'm gonna tough it out. He can't bully me out of not being a commentator, but McAfee's dead, so he can't do it. And whoever joined him, they sit down, and I think their head was down.
Was it Tessator?
And for a brief second, I thought it was Morrow.
Oh my! Imagine. I love Morrow.
And you know what? You know why? It's partly your fault because you had already told me you were more excited for the return of somebody else.
Oh, okay.
And then I was
because
like,
I was talking about McDonough.
It's more, and then he puts his head up. I'm like, oh, it's Tessa.
If it was Morrow, I honestly would have told you because I just I love
that wouldn't affect anything.
Morrow's my Morrow's my boy. We love
line.
Morrow. He's Canadian. He's my favorite, and he is super energetic, but he's energetic in the way I love.
And he ramps it up.
That's what I'm saying, right?
McAfee starts at 10 and there's nowhere to go.
And instead of detracting, I feel like he adds, like he's my Jim Ross.
Yes.
He feels like Jim Ross to me.
Prime
where
Jim
he's
Ross. Can't stand Jim Ross now. He needs to retire. Prime Jim Ross made matches
Morrow has
better.
that. That's another thing I loved about that era of NXT is Morrow is like, I love him so much. That's what I love about MLP too, is at least I get to hear Morrow again.
True. Not when we're live.
But I would watch it again.
Yeah, me too.
If you order it, then like we'd have it forever.
Since you told me,
Good Brothers. Heyo.
That is a
Yo Ghost Jam. How about them Good Brothers? What up? Honestly, I'm okay with that. But no, and Morrow with Don Callis is kind of like the retro Bobby Heenan kind of thing. Good. Like it's kind of cool. But anyways, I love Morrow and I hate Pat McAfee.
So at one point, Gunther grabs the title, starts to leave. Jey goes to dive onto him as the ref gets out of the way because he's not looking. Gunther nails Jey with the belt shot. to the head, follows up with a splash and a sleeper. Jay gets to the ropes, Gunther screaming at him. Jay laughs off Gunther's chops, asks for more.
I did not like that.
Lengthy strike exchange. Jay gets the better of it. Okay. Follows up with a German. Barrett points out that Uso is using Gunther's offense. Jay hits a powerbomb, a super kick, another spear, a splash, then another.
Super kick, yeah, he's really going into Gunther's arsenal.
Then a third to the back. McAfee loses his mind. Sleeper by Jay. Gunther taps out. No, thank
really
you.
quick, too.
16 minutes. And then I made this note, you noticed, because we actually went back and looked. Survivor Series War Game graphics.
Yeah, the traditional replay they
for
had.
a second.
Survivor Series War Games.
I didn't see it, but it was there.
I was like, what? Really mediocre opener, I think.
I agree.
Like, as much as I hate Jay,
And
not
love
a
Gunther.
bad match.
I agree.
Very mediocre.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Like, I would say the definition of mid. Not great, not bad.
Far from a hot opener.
No, and also kind of what I expect.
It's just...
It feels way below Gunther's level, but around Jay's.
For the amount of time in this...
It also didn't feel that bitter. Yeah.
And the bloody beating he put on Jay's brother. The fact that they didn't use blood here, I was a little surprised.
Or just make it more brutal than this. And I thought Jay laughing off the chops was dumb, and the finish was horrible.
And coming out ahead in the strike exchange?
The fact that he not only submitted Gunther, but made him tap out like within seconds, it was crazy. And I pointed out that Dragunov did, and my friend was saying, like, it's okay. Then you cannot compare, like, fighting Jey Uso here to either of the matches Gunther had with Dragunov.
No, of course not.
Dragunov would beat the piss out of you, and then he's tapping you out.
And it's just the drama those two create. There was, for the length of this story and the bitterness of it, it was really lacking.
It should have
drama.
had a match like Dragunov
it felt
and Gunther.
Really ordinary to me.
Yeah,
so I said an early tournament match between Ospreay and Kevin Knight was a much more exciting opener than this.
Yeah,
and we love Gunther.
I thought you were gonna say Ospreay and Takeshita because that
no,
was
I'm going opener, right?
Yeah, that was miles ahead.
So we both picked this.
Both picked this out of 6, so we're at deadlock right now.
Okay. Oh, let me write that down. And then over under accurate.
Over under accurate. Okay. Cage match is given a 4.49.
Wow, they're harsh, eh?
I'm okay with that.
I went over that. Actually, what did Meltzer say?
Meltzer's 3 3/4. What?
That's crazy. I went 3 1/4. I thought it was a little bit above average.
I would go 3. I think it was perfectly
3's fair because it's on
average.
Mania. It's supposed to be better.
I agree. I think that's part of what we should be considering.
And sorry, what was our scores on that?
We both have 6.
Okay. Well done by us.
Yep.
Then there's a lengthy recap of the underwhelming New Day heel run so far.
Because that's like the bulk of the story here. What if there's even one?
Mediocre build to this, right? And a really long package, I noted. So it is New Day.
A lot of long packages, it felt like.
Challenging the War Raiders for the Tag Team Championships.
World Tag Team Championship.
I have Jack notices the crowd is quote unquote hot, so I assume they were not.
They were dead.
Yeah.
They were so dead for this because this really does lack heat, this one, and you can feel it. I feel like there were a lot of matches where that could be said, and then the crowd definitely fell asleep.
And care to guess the time on this?
This one is I can see
you're
it.
looking 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just barely over 9 minutes, which I think is kind of crazy for a Mania match.
Ivar barely lands a moonsault on Kofi. Woods breaks
like
it up
you
with
could
an
tell
elbow.
as he was jumping, he almost slipped, almost under-rotated. Thankfully, he's fine.
Eric with a sick knee to Woods. War Machine, their finisher stopped by Kofi. New Day hit their finisher.
Ivar's looking a little bigger.
And he is. And it's over in 9 minutes. So, like, this is your big title change, right?
I thought
in a 9-minute match.
Considering all the factors you have to consider.
Very average.
Mediocre action. Bland, minimal story.
Yep.
Coming off the back of a major turn at the biggest show.
Yep.
And it being a title change.
Crowd
I feel like this is below average.
I think you're fair. I went, we'll see.
It's a 4.47 from Cage Match.
So I went over that. I went 3, but I
Meltzer
think
was 2 3/4.
in hindsight, I'll keep my rating of 3.
I'm gonna agree with Meltzer.
Yeah, I think that's
so I feel
fair.
like 2.5 is a little too mean.
And we both picked this for how many certainty
We
score?
both picked this one. And okay, so I have a 5, you have a 7. What was my 7?
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was. You're saying slightly below average. In context, I think you're probably right, but I'll keep my 3.
That's fair.
I used it to do my average for the overall. Then we move into, speaking of average, or below. Jade Cargill
I
versus
below.
Naomi. So I haven't seen a ton of Naomi because I don't watch
I thought her new
SmackDown.
theme and entrance was interesting. It's a stark contrast compared to what she like the whole glow thing.
I was
right?
saying I'm intrigued how they present her, and I thought you were somewhat impressed by it.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least with the entrance and everything,
Yep.
I thought it was a cool new look.
And so remember, we're like, what is this weather report? So it's part of Cargill's before her entrance.
Yeah, because we almost skipped it, didn't
Which
we?
is what, yeah, we did. And then we're like, oh, this is something.
Storm's
that
coming.
matters.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
fine.
It's a bit of pomp and circumstance. I saw people saying too, and I think it's kind of right. A lot of this Mania was lacking that pomp and circumstance, which usually I don't
It's
love.
like they've given that up to just go celebrity, product.
Yeah. Which I don't always love over the top main roster pageantry, but if you're gonna do it, you have to do it at Mania.
You do.
And I feel like that wasn't really lacking. Like, I'll talk about it later, but I think Rollins was one of the guys who did that right because his entrance was big and grand, and like that felt like a Mania entrance to me. Then Cargill's is decent. Like there were some that did it decently, but I feel like Rollins was one of the only ones where it actually felt. Even Cody, I don't remember anything specific for his entrance unless we skipped it.
We might have. Was there a dog?
There was no dog, no brandy, no racism ending baby,
Wow.
no oversized skull mask.
If my baby ended racism like his did, I would constantly be promoting you. I would be taking you everywhere.
I would gladly be taken everywhere. You'd have to put me on TV everywhere.
That's right. This kid 17 years ago ended racism.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, this kid did it in 2021, which, props to you. I couldn't get the job done.
You could not. You had to.
I would like to point out, I am also a biracial child.
Correct.
So Nate couldn't do it either.
No,
so
you guys
couldn't get the job done. She did what I couldn't. Honestly,
right.
I think here's what I think. She's the child that ended racism. Has Dominic Mysterio done that? No. But did child Dominic Mysterio get a Build-A-Figure? He did. So therefore, the next SummerSlam wave or WrestleMania wave or Survivor Series wave should have a Build-A-Figure of Liberty Rhodes.
I don't even remember her name. I just know she ended racism.
Liberty.
That's important.
And I feel like you should remember the name because it makes a lot of sense.
It does. So Cole tells us this match is not going to be pretty. So that's kind of like Jade can't wrestle, really. That's my interpretation.
As if we needed to be told.
So what I highlighted this, you can explain. Jade's visible zipper on the back is distracting.
Oh, because it's one of those things where, and I remember doing this in AEW
supposed to match your skin.
And it does,
but
I can
big
tell.
Old zipper down the back.
One, yes, there's a zipper down her spine. Two, if you just look at her abs, they're not as not as chiseled, but they're not as clear and
I agree,
because she is ripped.
She is.
So you can tell a difference.
Super impressive
when she's wearing something over her abs.
Yeah.
So you can tell. I remember she's done this in AEW before too.
Yep.
So it's because she has these weird lightning bolts on her neck or whatever. It's because you want to have some certain parts on areas where if it was actual clothing, it doesn't work. So if you just put on a bodysuit like that, obviously you have more freedom.
And then you end up looking like Giant Gonzalez a little bit.
Then it's kind of like Giant Gonzalez, right? I mean, at the very least, hopefully she doesn't do. I remember she did She-Hulk the one time in AEW, and she painted herself green and whatever.
Yes.
And it was all
and I could barely tell because I'm colorblind.
I actually forgot that, but that might be the funniest part of that.
What? She's green.
She completely changes colors.
She just looked different, but I couldn't green would not have been my guess. Naomi dominates with really boring stuff, and then I put, can Cargill not take? I feel like that's the problem. Right?
I agree.
She can't
because
take anything.
Not known for being a ring general, but she's not bad.
But when her stuff tends to be kind of flashy, right?
I agree.
And I don't think you can do it. So Jade catches a blockbuster attempt and hits a jackhammer. That was impressive. Naomi gets caught coming off the ropes again, this time a fall-away slam, but I was kind of like, basically the same spot, one after the other. Like, Naomi jumps, gets caught, gets hit.
Gets thrown.
Avalanche Bulldog, split-legged moonsault by Naomi for a near fall. Pretty nice combination. Naomi rings the Saturn. Cargill powers up. Electric chair into a power bomb was actually kind of crazy. So 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Jade wins.
Jaded.
Jaded. Yes, jaded. Another short match.
9:20.
So,
hey, this isn't a whole 8 seconds longer, right? These are Iron Women.
A couple really impressive Cargill power spots, but my description is the connective tissue is just not there.
Yeah, and I feel like the power spots only go so far, right?
The crowd was mostly silent. Some energy for Cargill's power spots. Doesn't seem like she's improved very much.
Yeah,
she does a limited number of things well.
I think people are starting to recognize that she's not really.
She's pretty bland overall.
Yeah.
It's like, man, she looks like $1 billion. And if you could build a woman in a laboratory for WWE to sign,
That's the one.
she's it. But then the bell rings.
Yeah, and then it's
Or
you see.
the promo starts, which I
Aleister
think
Black back
sometimes
then.
she's okay. I don't know. I didn't love this. Over under accurate?
5.86 from Cage Match.
That's pretty accurate. I went 3. I said average, but you could go below again and I wouldn't.
And Meltzer gave it 2.
Wow. And how about our certainty scores on this? We both,
I picked Jade
I
at
don't
a
think I
7,
did
and
I?
you took Naomi at a 2. So you don't take a big loss, but I take a big win.
7 for you?
Yes.
Wow.
Aleister Black's back. What does he have his theme song? I need to know.
The original one?
I don't know.
The best
That's what I'm
theme
trying
song of all time.
I'll figure that out as you're talking about this match.
Cardi B is hosting SummerSlam. You are unimpressed, as am I. It is?
Oh my god.
That's great news.
Oh my god.
The best theme song ever is back.
Oh my god.
Everyone.
That's crazy.
Breaking
I didn't think
news.
they'd keep that.
Awesome. Next
my
match,
God.
U.S. Championship. It's Jacob Fatu, our boy, FNS favorite, taking on LA Knight. Fatu's in a big old entrance mask, but he takes it off pretty quickly at the top of the ramp.
Apparently that was made by Bray Wyatt's guy, so that was kind of cool.
Nice. And Fatu does what he does, and I was telling you in the moment, like, he comes off as a tiny bit reckless, and it really works for him.
Just enough to make it scary,
It's like
but
this
where
controlled
not
chaos.
where I think he's unsafe.
I
you know
agree.
what I mean?
And anyways, we get a moonsault countered into a BFT kind of, member.
I like that they tried it. You know, I'm
too.
gonna give them props
It
for trying
wasn't
it. It was kind
perfect.
of like an RKO out of nowhere, and I think the BFT is also a lot hard because LA Knight's falling forward. I think if it was an RKO, it'd be easy to do. But
And this kind of fired the crowd
I like
up
the try.
because Fatu got his foot on the ropes, right?
Yeah.
So the crowd's getting into it now. Knight gets sent ribs first onto the corner. I said Fatu. I don't remember. Fatu with a weird corner senton. Super Samoan drop, 2 nice moonsaults, and Fatu wins after 13 minutes.
I don't know what weird moves.
Me either.
Or
My very
thing
next
is.
thing, Haku sighting.
Oh yeah, because
Love
Fatu
Haku.
won.
I thought best match on the show to this point, probably. Energized crowd helped a lot. Fatu's impressive as always. I thought Knight did his job pretty well too. Because I would say he's kind of limited in the ring. Like, he's capable of a very good match.
Knight's solid, yeah.
Good energy. Felt like more than a TV match where the previous 2 did not.
Mhm.
So I like that. Happy for Fatu, obviously, because
Yeah, we love
this guy's
Fatu.
the
I
real
think it
deal.
makes
So
sense.
let's go.
This was the first match on the show where I felt like I actually liked it.
I know. That's crazy. It's Mania.
I know.
And it's not even like the build to this one was amazing either.
It wasn't. It's just Fatu earned a title shot.
So Fatu is just fun to watch.
I
at
love
this point.
Fatu. I love him so much.
Did we both pick this? Yes.
We did. I have a
Certainty
3,
score?
you have a 5.
I needed that. 3 and 5. Over under accurate?
Over under accurate. 7.12.
Yeah, that's accurate. I went
from
3.5.
Cage match, and Meltzer's 3 3/4.
I went 3.5.
I go 3 1/4 because I feel like I don't quite liked it enough to go 3.5.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Maybe I was just looking for something to enjoy, after
can't blame you.
So then we get Rey Fenix filling in for
Different Ray.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
I've heard people speculating that he was not looking to have El Grande pin him and was like, "Ooh, my groin hurts." So who knows? El Grande Americano.
I mean, he is new. He's pretty green.
And to be fair, at this point in their careers, Phoenix is an upgrade on Mysterio.
Yeah. I'm
In
not
ring,
really complaining.
not storyline, obviously.
Storyline, yeah. But
Right.
at the very least, you had Rey Fenix and Luchadors ganging up on Chad Gable to eliminate him from the Andre Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And then El Grande Americano, for some reason, took it upon himself to interfere and take out Phoenix, even though he has no stake in the fight, right? Because obviously they were going after Chad Gable. So I don't know why El Grande Americano got involved there, but so there's at least a little bit there.
Do you remember, because I forgot until I just saw my note, what was the funniest thing we saw all weekend that was supposed to be funny? Like, we laughed with it.
Oh, what was funny? It was
It was
something
Americano's vignette, remember?
No.
It was dubbed over in English.
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny. It was
he's
so
like, yeah, he's
funny.
saying all this crap, and he's just dubbed over in like this clearly AI voice. Oh, it was really funny.
Super funny.
It was really funny.
And then, long story short, What? A 450 moonsault?
Oh yeah, it was
I
a
don't
450
understand.
senton or something like that.
It's
It was like a
what did we
moonsault
just
with an
see?
extra half rotation. It was crazy. From
And there's no way. So
Americana.
there's your evidence. Like Chad Gable's
Chad
not doing
Gable
that.
only does moonsaults. Chad
Right.
Gable's never done that.
He's not adding a 450 moonsault.
No.
That was crazy. Fire driver
impressive.
for a near fall. Ref checks on Phoenix. This is where El Grande loads his mask. Kind of a cool spot, right? Phoenix does the goodbye amigo kick, and then that hurts his foot because he kicked the loaded mask, which makes sense. Ankle lock, roll through escape. Phoenix comes off the ropes.
At least he learns from Chad Gable with the ankle
That's
lock,
right.
though.
Yeah, he does. It's an
He's a
homage.
student of the game.
Yeah. Phoenix comes off the ropes for a cutter. El Grande catches him with a headbutt, top rope diving headbutt, follows for the win. El Grande
Homage to
Americana wins.
Mania 20.
I think
with
he's trying to
Benoit.
diversify, right? He can't just be a luchador, so he's adding some
Yeah.
technical stuff.
And he's been working with American
Showing
Made a little
some-
bit, so you might as well.
Right. And then Vikingo's involved and helps Phoenix to his feet after the match because he and El Grande have some heat. They were sort of bickering at one point in this. So it suffered a bit from the last minute switch to Phoenix, right? Because there's just no story there at all, really. Felt kind of like an exhibition, but
It
a fun
did.
one.
But that's like kind of Retromania, I guess.
And for me, that 450 moonsault or whatever it was, that moves this above average for me right
yeah,
there.
that was crazy.
Too short to be great, but fun while it lasted. Phoenix did what he does, and then El Grande shocked me with one move and looked really good. Needed to be about twice as long with a story attached to be really great.
Yeah.
But I was amused by what I
Yeah.
saw.
It was 6.32 from Cage Match.
6.32. I'm pretty accurate. I went 3.25.
I agree. I did like it better than the last one, but I don't think it's quite a 3.5 for me. And then, Meltzer gave it 2 3/4.
Tough. And our certainty scores?
Our scores.
Did we both pick it?
We did. I got a 4. You got a 1.
Bummer. I wasn't very certain. All right. Moving on. Oh, I also said Shawn Michaels comes out and claims the venue is sold out. Jack is skeptical because we see
Remember-
empty seats.
Not even that. I sent you. The attendance was different between both nights, and they were both sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it was like a 2,000 difference. Hold on. I sent it to you, so
You did.
I'll talk about it right now.
Do you remember my first note for this says the most heelish video package for the babyface in this match? Remember the package for Charlotte, and we're laughing because it's like,
Oh, because all the
There's
things
like
Tiffy
3
says, it's like
and there's 3 things where we're like, how is Charlotte the face here?
no, Charlotte's
Or
not the face, but it was Tiffy.
sorry.
Yeah,
How is Tiffany the face here? Like the highlights they chose are like, this is very.
they
heelish
both feel
stuff.
like heels.
Yes, very much.
Okay, so Shawn Michaels announced the attendance as 61,467. Then night 2, Austin crashed his 4-wheeler and announced it as 63,226.
Crazy.
I actually know for a fact is
The
you know,
venue
wrestling-
grew. Okay, how dare you?
it couldn't have been because Wrestling with Regret.
Yeah.
I was watching his review and he did go for Mania, but he only went to the second night, so therefore the attendance has to be different, even by one person.
Yeah, but someone could have had his seat.
Uh-uh.
Quote from you: in reality, how is either one of these people likable?
That's literally what the package basically illustrates, is that you really shouldn't be cheering for either of them. It's just we're cheering for Tiffy because she's not Charlotte.
Right.
That's how it feels.
It's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Literally.
I mean, I do like Tiffy as a wrestler.
Me
just
too.
obviously I feel like she should be a heel.
I thought her Barbie entrance was kind of cool.
Yeah, because
Pretty
you had
unique.
3 boxes. 2 of them were screens with her, and one of them was like actually her coming out of something. I do like that. It felt kind of Mania to me, so I kind of like that. Charlotte, I hate her.
She came in a Rolls Royce, obviously.
Oh,
and why are
you
they
didn't
in-
talk about LA Knight's driver?
Oh, that made me laugh too. He rolls in this cool car, but he's not driving it. It's some guy in a headset.
Not even like it's like a super.
So my thing was like, have a beautiful woman driving him.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
He looks like such a nerd hopping out of this. Because it's not like it's a limo or a fancy car where he's riding in the back. He's just riding shotgun while some other dude drives
talking
him.
to this goober with a headset.
These two, Stratton and Charlotte, are in similar ring gear again.
They were, and I'm not. This isn't even you because of your color deficiency. They were wearing pretty much the same colors, except I think Charlotte. The difference was she had some blue on her,
Right.
and they're both like. This was the same thing with Grande Americana and Phoenix too. They were both wearing red and gold, but
That's
like
true.
these girls, it's like they are wearing the same color and they already look so similar. Like they could not have done a worse. Like, did no one tell them what the other was wearing? Like, you're not.
It was
It
weird.
was actually insane. I actually
And
forgot.
in that one segment, they were both wearing almost the same thing too. It was weird. Charlotte does Vaquer's move, rolls
But not
around
as
with
good.
Stratton's head, and
She's
you were
doing it with,
annoyed.
like monkey
I
flip.
put.
I was like, no, that's stupid.
Charlotte moonsault gets stopped. Then we get intense awkwardness, I put. And then later on, more awkwardness.
Was it like the botchy stuff in the corner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Charlotte gets sent weakly into the corner. The clunkiness really took the crowd's steam out of this here. Prettiest moonsault ever almost immediately follows. The crowd responded well to that. Stratton wins. Yeah. 19 minutes, too long.
I think too long. Given the talent involved, I thought this was kind of bad.
It was a roller coaster. I thought there was times I was into it, and then there's clear issues, and I'm taken out of it, and then it's okay again.
Yeah.
And I'm happy Stratton won.
Yes.
But as a non-SmackDown viewer, I wasn't fully up on this. I just don't like Charlotte.
6.35 from Cage Match.
I went under. I went 3 stars.
I'm going to go like 2.5, I think.
The fact that this got 19.
Yeah, Meltzer was harsh. He went 1 3/4.
Ooh, yeah. Some people really hated it.
I did not think it was good.
I thought there was multiple instances of like clunkiness and awkwardness.
I thought it was kind of bad.
Certainty scores?
Certainty score. I got a 1, you got a 3, but we both picked it.
There we go. Battle back. Okay, Hall of Famers on stage. Don't care. Other than Luger, I think he wasn't there.
Good for him, though.
Main event time. This match is going to bring up the average a little bit, thankfully. Dean Ambrose sighting. It's Rollins, Reigns, Punk.
In the package.
Just once, I think he was there.
Yeah, he was there. They do try hard to keep him out there. I'm like, just do it for the Shield. You don't have to call him Mox, because like Rollins and Reigns have referred to him as Mox.
Yeah.
That I get wanting to avoid, but Ambrose, it's like most people will know him, but like it's like a cool reference because it's the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee there's a lot of younger people who wouldn't know, so it doesn't matter.
No.
Roman finally changed his ring gear color.
Did make a note of that. He
wore white on his gauntlets and white boots. Punk was wearing yellow, which I think is a reused gear. I think that's the same gear he wore during the pipe bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rollins. So it was really cool. He wore all black for his entrance, like a big ass rope. He had this flamethrower. He like burned the Trons. It was cool, but I was telling you, it wasn't as cool as 33 when he had the torch and he like lit up the giant ramp and that like lit up. And then the lights went out and he came back and he's wearing all white. You know Rollins looks best in all white. I mean,
he's winning too.
Harken back to the first all white back in 2015. You know
one of my favorite gears. White and a bit of gold, was it?
White with the gold trim. Yeah. I think that's probably his greatest gear. That's the one that Vince hated for some reason, just to show how out of touch he hated that.
Psycho.
And he wore all white. Yeah, he wore all white at Mania 36.
Redacted. You said his name.
Yeah, he wore all white when he was doing the Messiah thing at Mania 36 against Owens. I think he wore white and gold at Chamber 2023 in Montreal. And then so this was like all white with some kind of silver stuff in it. Anyways, it was an all white gear. It's always beautiful. I love it. It looks fantastic.
And there was a cool video recap of this storyline with a.
This is one that deserves a lengthy.
I'll give him that.
And Punk had an entrance package
live
for his,
theme
where it was okay. Yeah, that was not good.
They should.
But the cool thing was he had like the vignette for his thing where it was his old introductory promo.
Oh, it was young and old Punk,
yeah, saying how he's straight and whatever, and then also played this fire, cool. His old theme song. So I thought that was kind of cool. Honestly, I would rather him come out to that theme song than do a live version of Cult of Personality.
Yep,
because it was fine.
So the story of this obviously is like, where does Heyman stand on this? Right, he owes Punk a favor, so he
kind of owes Rollins a favor
in Punk's corner. Yeah, like that's kind of a weird, like, I didn't kill you, so you owe me a favor.
But I guess we'll get there.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot. I did take notes, but I'm going to go through too many of them here. We get a crazy near fall for Rollins, a great sequence where he countered the spear into a pedigree, followed with a stomp.
That's a spot they've done a few times, but I think it's fantastic.
It was good. We get a spear to Rollins, GTS to Reigns for a near fall. Crowd is really into this. Where did I put the finish? Oh, Heyman goes to ringside, grabs a chair, right? Sort of teases like, who am I going to give the chair to? Ends up passing it to Punk. So the fans boo. Reigns looks sad.
With his teeth really white.
Heyman gets into the ring with Punk, but when Punk holds up the chair, Heyman low blows Punk, and everybody's shocked, obviously, even though it's kind of what I predicted
Roman
happening.
Smiles with his white teeth.
Yes. Heyman shouts at Punk that Reigns is Heyman's tribal chief. Heyman presents Reigns with his chair. Reigns hits Punk with a chair 3 times. Rollins gets back to his feet.
With his back to Roman and Heyman.
Right. Reigns sets up for a chair shot, but Heyman hits Reigns low instead. And the fans are booing now. Rollins sticks his hand out. Heyman hands Rollins the chair. And the fans are chanting Seth's song at this point. Rollins hits Reigns in the back with the chair. just like he did 11 years ago. Hits the stomp on Roman Reigns for the pinfall. This was 32 minutes. I was surprised because I thought this was awesome.
I thought it was great, and it did not feel
that long.
like it overstayed its welcome.
This is like, and I'm not saying this to be mean, it's just, I think, a fact. This is a WWE style main event triple threat, and it was awesome.
It's the perfect WWE style match.
It was like
the perfect amount of great action and great story.
And a story with Heyman, who's always awesome at telling a story. It was the finish I was hoping for. Thought it was really well executed. Easily the best match on the show. Super high quality main event. Like this,
really
it's like they put
match.
Everything into this match, and everything else was an
afterthought. Right. Like the entrances felt well done too. Right,
yes.
It just felt like they put all their effort into this. But I thought it was paid off really well. Like I thought it was really strong. The finish was what we called, but that's fine because it's a
predictable.
Good finish,
doesn't mean bad.
And I think it's leading to some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I love this match. This is my probably favorite WWE match this year.
I would say so for sure. I think it's definitely my front runner, and I'll put it in my short list now because I think we do need our WWE matches. So I'll put it in there. I thought it was really strong. Okay, I'll do that first. 8.81 from Cage Match.
8.81. I went actually over. I went 4.5, which would be 9. I thought it was fantastic. And we don't really give a lot of 5-star matches, so that's going to be tough to do.
I was typing that. What are you giving it?
4.5.
4.5. I will agree. For a main roster match, I thought it was great. Meltzer went 4 3/4, which I think is fairish.
Certainty scores.
I 2 for me, 4 for you.
All right, let's tally those up. 11, 18, 21, 25, 27, 28 for you.
Let's go.
13, 18, 19, 22, 26 for me.
Aha.
So I win, stand, and deliver. This is exciting. It's coming down to night 2.
That's true. That works out pretty nice.
I feel like score's good.
Night 2, from what I remember, does not bode well for me.
Oh, is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
I love to hear it. I love to hear. Or let's talk about night 2 right now then. Overall, I did the math. It was a C show night 1. I think that's fair.
For Mania,
I think you would probably bump it down a half, like a C minus, because you had a couple below me.
Yeah. For Mania, especially,
for sure.
Not outright bags. I think like last year was probably like solid. 39 we really liked, and 38 we really didn't like. So I think it was like better than 38 at least this night.
It wasn't bad. It was just
but not.
Agree.
Not a Mania.
Then night 2, I thought was kind of where night 1 ended super strong. This one started super strong, and then faded, unfortunately.
It definitely filtered out, yeah.
So in the first match, it is the triple threat with the women, and Io retained. I thought this was fantastic. Triple threat. It went almost 15 minutes. Few things. Belair went for a KOD on Ripley. Ripley landed on her feet. Ripley hit a headbutt. Belair countered the riptide. Belair hit Ripley with the hair whip to the midsection, I think it was. And then Belair hits her KOD on Ripley. Sky jumps off with the over-the-top moonsault on Belair.
Over the moonsault.
Over the moonsault. And covers Belair for the win. Might be my favorite match of Mania. This and the main event from the night before are pretty close. Really hot crowd that loved Rhea and hated Bianca, right? Awesome action from the bell right through. Like 15 minutes went by really fast. And part of my love of this is I kept saying, even though I didn't pick Io, like the story they've been telling, Io has to win, right? Otherwise, she looks like an idiot because she's been disrespected and like dismissed this whole build. So really the only finish that makes sense is that she wins. And she did. I didn't think it would actually happen. So I'm pretty hyped for her because she's the best. I thought a super hot opener that followed a great main event. So like those 2 matches back to back, if you want to say that.
Yeah, I'd say so for all intents and purposes.
I don't know your thoughts.
Yeah, this was pretty good. I was kind of
didn't
watching
grab
at
you
times.
like me. Yeah, I love it.
No, I think I'll give it another shot, which tends to be my thing with the women's matches at Mania. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I didn't fall asleep because that has been the case before.
Right.
But no, it was good, and I'm really glad Io won too. I mean, I wanted to pick it. Honestly, I would have been fine if Belair won because I really like Belair.
I do too.
I don't know why she became the heel when Ripley just Hoganed her way in here.
I know, it's crazy.
But I am happy for Io. I think she deserves that moment.
Neither of us picked this,
and she deserves a better run. No, we both lost out on 2.
Okay. And over under accurate?
I can close that tab now. This one. Oh wow. Okay, 9.19 from Cage Match.
Pretty accurate. Like I'm a 4.5, so I'm at a 9.
Agree with Meltzer.
What's that?
You're not going to agree with Meltzer.
5?
He went 5.
Wow, he does not give WWE matches 5 stars.
That's crazy because like I'm not even trying to diss this match or anything, but it did not feel like
It's
5.
not a 5-star match.
He also gave.
We are pretty tough though.
That's fair, but I feel like a lot of times I can see like there was also I think it was the one Cody versus AJ match last year at Backlash in France. They gave 5 stars, and I was like, no.
I know. It's like he throws them a bone every now and then.
I mean, hats off to them. But if I was gonna pick a 5-star match for the weekend or for Mania, I probably would have gone with the men's one. Now, even if you want to say this one's better in ring, that one has the story and great action. This one, the story I feel like is kind of and then the action was really good.
Yeah, I
mean?
loved it.
So I feel like the men's one is the more to make a Hall of Fame reference, the total package.
It is more of a WWE
right
full.
Well, and even in AEW, we always say if it's a really great match, if there's that story too, then it's different. Like
that's what's part of got Ospreay and Omega to 5 stars for us, right? Was because
the feud was there and the match was amazing.
And even in another company, there was stuff.
Right.
Like you were supposed to replace Omega, and he's arguing you
the
couldn't do it.
story was still there, right?
Yeah,
and it worked because it was the joint show. But even like for example, Monet and Statlander had a couple amazing matches last year, but they had a like crummy story going in there because there really wasn't any effort in.
You need both to really
right. So I think that's why I would probably give the edge to the men's one at the end of the day.
That's
but this one was still really good.
We then go to a Sin City street fight. Drew McIntyre taking on Damian Priest. Priest was played out to the ring by Kerry King of the band Slayer, which our regular commenter let me know was going to happen. I didn't think it was the worst of the live performances.
It was fine, but I still think it's one of those ones that just detracts from it.
A little bit.
I don't really need it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really liked from this match was McIntyre doing the mid-match tweet again.
He did. I did make a note that he was
the Instagram
tweeting.
post, I think it was, because I actually saw the post. I thought that was funny. I like that's his thing.
McIntyre went through the announce table with the razor's edge, right? And then Priest was going, what was it, for old school? And then McIntyre shoved him off the top through 2 tables at ringside, right? So there were a couple big spots here. The finish was Drew set up Priest's head against the steel chair, against the turnbuckle, corner. And then I thought Claymore.
It looked really cool, yeah.
It looked awesome, I thought, right? Like a finisher for sure. So Drew wins after 14 minutes. I thought this was a good...
It was fine.
Again, I need to qualify a good WWE weapons match with a couple of big spots. I'm glad Drew won.
I didn't pick it, but I am happy he won just because I love Drew.
And it felt different because of the weapons being involved, right? So that was something a little different on this weekend. Kept my interest more than I can say for some other matches this weekend. So I liked it. Don't think it was great.
It did not really hold my interest with the other one where I felt like I wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
Just because I just don't. I love Drew, but I really just don't care about Priest.
I didn't either. And again, it's SmackDown, so I'm not even really up on it.
That too. I feel like SmackDown, they don't put the effort in as much.
So you didn't pick this.
I did not.
And I got
nothing for me.
How much for me?
You get 4.
Sweet. And over under accurate?
It was 7.48 from Cage Match.
I am under.
And Meltzer,
I'll take the under. 3.5.
Meltzer likes it. 4.25.
Wow.
I
went 3.5.
3.25.
3.25. Fair enough. Intercontinental Championship. We got Breaker, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Benjamin Balor all facing off here.
Balor looks so stupid.
Why?
With his yellow bag on his head.
Oh, right.
He needs to stop putting bags on his head.
Breaker had a spot where he ran off an announce table and drove Carlito
through the other one with his breeding. Oh,
pretty cool.
Mention, the tables, I kept telling you, they're like kind of round or whatever. The announce tables are 100% blackjack tables.
You're like, they just took them from a casino.
No one can tell me different. I really like it as like set dressing. I think that's a really cool idea. I just thought it was weird because like they're slightly off. I'm like, that has to be it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool. I really like that as like a bit of set dressing. It's like, why not do that? I think that's a cool way to change it up.
Leading into the finish, Braun spears Penta. Dom drop kicks Braun.
Penta had a really nice green gold gear, actually.
Dom drop kicks Braun into the ropes for a 619 from Dom as well. Fans are loving Dom. It's kind of weird.
It is very weird.
Dom goes up top. Balor trips him. Balor hits a sling blade drop kick into the turnbuckle. Balor jumps off the top, coup de grace to Braun, but Dominic. I thought the finish was executed well, right? Because Balor's going for the pin off the coup de grace. And Dom flies in with a frog splash to Balor, right? And then he covers Balor and wins. Only 10.5 minutes. But I thought it was really fun.
I thought it was well done, yeah.
And the story of the Judgment Day in there waiting for the other shoe to drop with Balor and Dom was added to it too, right? So Braun didn't retain, but I thought he was showcased here. He's just so explosive and like that physical charisma, as they say, right? Like he just kind of gets your
I love
attention.
Braun. And I thought the bit with Carlito was kind of cool.
Yes, the right person won. The
Yeah, we both
crowd,
picked it. I like
the
that.
crowd loves it.
Surprisingly receptive. It's so weird.
It is
He got
weird.
over by being someone everyone hates, and then it's like, oh, we love you.
It's kind of interesting.
I don't know if he'll work as a face again.
I thought this was really entertaining. It was pretty short, so it's not going to ascend to amazing.
But I thought it was good. Where's the picks? So we did both pick it.
Yeah.
That's a 5 for me and a 5 for you.
Sweet.
So nothing changes.
And over under accurate?
It's a 7.82 from Cage Match.
I'm pretty accurate. I went 3 3/4.
Meltzer's 4 1/4.
Crazy.
I would go I'd go 3.5.
I have trouble putting a 10-minute multi-man match over 4 stars.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like there's so many people there.
I
Anyways,
agree.
then this is where things kind of go off a cliff a little bit for me. Because we get Randy Orton and
this
the
one
mystery,
does not have any ratings because it's under 5 minutes.
a mystery opponent. So I'll take the under. This is my first, this might be my first ever 1 star. I hated this. It's Joe Hendry who gets a massive reaction.
I liked Orton's gear because it was the blue and yellow from his debut gear.
And
So
he
that
gets
was cool.
RKO'd in 3 minutes. So I think this is like a joke of a match that sort of sums up the TNA WWE relationship, right? Like
Until Hendry signed.
WWE is like, we don't want to insert one of our guys. Like it could have been Rusev, it could have been somebody, but we're
Could
like,
have done the Aldis
no.
thing.
Because they're going to lose. So why not take the champion of TNA
The world champion.
and have him job to an upper mid card, like you can say main
or
eventer
legend
if
or
you want.
whatever, but like.
But yeah, I
Still.
hated this. And Joe Hendry on NXT is kind of like, but at least I was there. I got killed, but it was in front of 60,000 people. So well,
I guess.
But like, I don't know, man. I hated this. I gave it 1 star because I think it was a stupid decision.
Not rating it because I don't care.
But we both picked it.
Yeah.
Certainty score.
Yeah, it's a 1 for me and a 6 for you.
Sick. It's big for me.
I dropped my 6.
AJ Styles, Logan Paul. My first note is drone. So
Paul is the drone. Yes.
Drone that he can like get on his hand and summon, and he does it before the match. He does it in the match at
It's
one
like
point.
an influencer version of Vanguard 1.
Yeah. I thought Paul engaged with the crowd way too much. Slowed things down and made AJ kind of look bad because he's not recovering while this guy's like
Yeah, I think
Going
Paul,
at
like,
the
he does a
crowd.
good job of playing to them, but he does it a lot.
a lot. Basically, Cross comes out, offers AJ brass knuckles. AJ refuses.
No, because Jeff, Logan Paul's friend, came out who Michael
Oh,
Cole
right.
hates.
And I
He's
was like,
get
who's
this.
Jeff?
He hates this.
I don't
guy.
remember what he did.
He came out under the ring with the brass knucks, and Cross came
Oh,
up and,
yeah,
like,
took them.
him out.
Tried
and,
to
like,
give him to AJ.
And yeah, that's how
That's
the
it.
brass knucks came into play.
Move, pulverizer, and it's over.
Pulverizer is dope.
In 18 minutes, pulverizer is dope.
So
either one of two things. One, in my opinion only, AJ Styles was not into this match at all. Or two, he has lost a step because he seemed really off to me and was
people
like
really like this match.
pretty ordinary. I did not. I didn't think the fans were into it, and
I thought it was fine.
I went below average. I thought this was like AJ just looked checked out to me. And Logan Paul's not good enough yet. Like, yes, we say he's good and he's super athletic.
He's
and
like
whatever.
good where you need someone to be the ring general.
And I
He's
felt
not
like
the ring
AJ was
general.
like, nah, I don't really feel like putting this guy over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't love it. Not gonna lie.
I don't think I was as down on it.
Did we pick it?
I did not.
So what did I get?
You get 1.
Oof, that's not really worth it. Over under accurate?
4.56.
So I went over.
Keiju Machu.
I went 2.75. I thought it was below average. I was kind of disappointed in this.
3.5 for Meltzer.
Because we kept saying like, oh, they'll put together something good. And I felt like AJ was like, nah.
I'll go 3. It was perfectly average.
Yeah, okay. Tag team championships, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra Valkyria and not Bailey. Becky Lynch, huge reaction, obviously.
Because
Don't know.
Ireland.
No idea, right?
Because they're Irish. They're both Irish.
Match happens. Lyra jumps onto Raquel on the floor. Lyra hits a DDT out there. Liv kicks Lyra down to the floor. Liv turns around. Lynch hits the manhandle slam for the win. 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Like, what are we doing here? 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
They're allergic to doing long matches unless it's drawn out Cody Rhodes
it's
bloodline
tag team.
stuff.
It's a women's tag team. Who could care? you get 8 minutes. Go.
Unless it's Roman Reigns or Cody, they are allergic to drawing out matches necessarily.
Basic,
or over necessarily.
Basic match. I like the rematch on Raw significantly better. Return of Lynch was the highlight, I guess.
Don't remember anything about this match.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
I don't think I paid attention.
Very ordinary to me. Did we pick it?
I did not.
I did?
I dropped 6 on that, so that's not good.
6?
I don't get 6. No,
so
you get
what
3.
I was going to say, I already have 6.
Oh, that's not fair because it's not Becky.
It's fair. Over under accurate?
It is a 5.05.
Wow, I'm over on that. I went 3.
2 from Meltzer.
This is what I mean. People are like, the general public are lower than us on stuff, which is not.
I will go 3 as well because I don't remember anything.
Austin announces the attendance and murders a fan at ringside.
She's just trying to get a payday.
Depends, fine. Man.
Those LED barricades are thick. It did not budge. She's fine.
As a tall person, my knees are right against those barricades sometimes.
Nah, she's fine.
The main event, it's Cena and Cody, and I hated it. Cena has a new entrance despite promising us nothing would change.
It was just like the Trons are blacked out. It was basically the same otherwise, which I guess
you get nothing. We got something.
That is nothing.
But the nothing is something.
I guess.
Right? 24-minute slog.
It sucked.
I've heard people defend this as anti-wrestling and it was intentional because Cena's trying to
You don't get to say that.
You don't
get to say that.
Like, that's stupid. You're stupid.
Like,
sorry, I won't say that.
That's
a stupid opinion.
That is stupid.
Doesn't mean you're stupid, but you have a stupid opinion. And then Travis Scott, like, I think I was so traumatized I blocked it out. Because I'm like, oh yeah, he came down and made Cody look like an absolute idiot because he could have, like, for 20 minutes recovered. While this guy, like, lopes down to the ring.
He made his whole entrance mid-match. Like, I guarantee you, out of this 25 minutes and 3 seconds, 2 minutes were his entrance, at least.
So listen, Cena was never Daniel Bryan, but I'm not convinced he can still wrestle.
I don't think he still can. I just saw a clip of him in 2015 when he's doing the U.S. run. His match with Owens, and like he's busting out like a Code Red and a Springboard Center and Hurricane Ranas. And he's trying because he was trying and he had more in him. And I get he's old and it's like less now, but I feel like they didn't even try to mask it here because I feel like there's ways you can mask that.
This was a Roman Reigns level slog. You know how some of his matches.
No, like, this is worse.
There's no better word for it than a slog.
This was worse than a Roman Reigns.
Low blow, belt shot, Cena wins.
Because Roman's at least like he's like chirping people, or he's like
I know.
He's putting some character work into it. Like he's like at least trying to juice it verbally and whatever. Like I feel like Cena's not doing
it's
this.
Anti-wrestling. You don't get it. It was brilliant.
No, it wasn't.
Stop.
I really liked the Cena heel run with like the promos he was doing.
Yep.
This was not it.
Cena wins as we both predicted.
Cena wins lol, I guess that's back.
I thought a dud of a main event, like
compared to
boring.
The other one too, is crazy.
Right? Mostly boring, made worse by Travis Scott's involvement. Again, WWE created a great moment in the Cena heel turn and then just went, we got our viral moment, screw the rest. Who cares? Right? And of course Cena has to win.
Like
that's
The Rock was nothing to this.
This annoyed me and left me like a lingering stench on night 2 for me.
I agree. It's a 3.49 from Cage Match.
So I went, that's pretty accurate actually. I went 2 stars. I thought I was being mean, but 1.75 almost feels righter. But I'll stick with 2.
I'll go 1 3/4, sure. I'll take that. And then Meltzer went
scores?
1 3/4.
Ooh, we did, eh? Yeah, it was awful.
It was not good.
Both picked it.
We both picked it.
You sucked
we
that
both
night
took
too.
it at a 7, yeah.
All right, so you got, it's easy to add yours up. You only got 3 right. You got 13, okay. And I absolutely smashed you. There's 10, 18, 23, 27.
That's gross.
So I win the weekend.
Yeah.
Disappointing night 2, man.
Overall, not a great Mania.
This was a Canadian D+ for me when I averaged it out.
Yeah,
that's not good.
I'm gonna go with the D. I feel like that feels right.
This is your biggest show of the year, man, and we did not enjoy either night.
It was not great. This is supposed to be like the pinnacle of everything.
2 great matches, a few good matches, a lot of mediocre matches, and a couple terrible matches.
I feel like All In has to be better than this.
I would think so,
especially considering how we lean.
Even in ring, even if AEW is like no story, go wrestle, we'll still enjoy that.
Yeah.
Right? We're starting to learn doing this that we are in ring guys. We're like, again, in a perfect world, there's story and whatever. But
I appreciate a good match more.
For a pay-per-view, you can just throw banger, 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 and if the stories are, I'll still be like, man, that pay-per-view was fun.
Yeah.
Where when it's just like mediocre wrestling, I'm like,
because on a pay-per-view, a good story is what gets you there, but
Yes.
it's not what's always carrying you through.
right.
So yeah, especially with the main event, it's such a dud. Overall, the weekend, it's like, yeah, it's
Stand and
just-
Deliver was the most entertaining
Yeah.
thing they did this weekend.
I think
That's
my
tough.
three. If I were to give my 3 favorite matches from the weekend, it would probably be
All
in no
triple threats for
particular
me.
order. It's Stand and Deliver triple threat, Mania main event triple threat, and probably Hank and Tank.
Yeah,
Just because I
that's
like that more.
In my top 4, those 4.
Right, and so one of those is from Mania.
Yes, that's not good.
So
All right, so now we will. What do we do next? We go back to our
It is
regularly scheduled stuff.
time for Dynamite.
Talk about some AEW Dynamite. Absolutely loved Dynamite last week. So let's get our thoughts on this week's episode instead.
I was just telling you about the Aleister Black. Seems
No
like
creaking.
His themes, no creaking. Theme is, I think, a remix from what I've heard, but
The creek being gone is good. Remember they
that's-
loved adding little sound effects
and
for a
the
bit?
Pew to Ricochet's theme.
Mhm.
My friend loves that, and I hate it. I contend that it's stupid. But,
I would agree.
You know, whatever. We kick off the show hearing from the Ops with Master P for some reason.
I told you, WCW.
No Limit Soldiers.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I don't know who he is. So,
And I love Joe, but I don't need to see him interacting with Master P to start Dynamite. Thank you.
what? Master P is such a weird
But
name,
at
too.
least it was about him doing stuff for student athletes, so that's something, I guess.
Yeah. Joe talked about them being there to celebrate because they're champions now. He thanked Master P for welcoming them to New Orleans, and that's a great place to celebrate. Death Riders interrupt. Shafir comes out alone, but that's just a distraction as the rest of the boys attack from behind. Mox is stared at Master P. Joe gets Mox in the Coquina clutch, and Master P's like kind of trying to do some punches. In there.
Oh
It
my
was
God,
stupid.
they were terrible
Yeah.
punches.
Worse
Worse than Shane
yeah.
McMahon.
Yeah. The Young Bucks and Okada came out with save them. They hit Joe with a chair. Then the Mox kind of has a standoff with the Bucks, but Shafir takes him out of there. So I guess they're staying away from him. Swerve comes out, so the Elite dip out. Omega comes down the entranceway with a chair, so they kind of hightail it through the crowd. Death Riders were also leaving here. Joe grabs the mic and says Mox wants him, so he'll beat his ass, choke him out, and take back his world title. And as he said, his world title, he kind of stares down Swerve, which is
Mhm.
interesting because I
Mhm.
guess Swerve took the title from him last year as well.
That's true. Again, and we're going to feel differently. I don't get why the executives are saving helping the guy who is leading a group determined to tear their company apart. Is that just me? Does this make sense to somebody?
I think part of it is the Death Riders have lost that plot.
I
Two-
guess. But what plot have they picked up?
I don't know. That's the thing.
And that,
But with the Elite, I think obviously they're weasels, so they're just going to hitch the bandwagon onto whatever keeps them safe, whether it's taking out AEW or
a
not.
group that wants to kill their company and
I don't
cost
think
them
they
money.
care that much, though, because they're weasels.
it feels like a lame attempt by the Bucks and it's partly because I think of them as people not so highly. An attempt by them to just put themselves right back at the top of the card. Right? Like, even though this main event story sucks, it's still the main event story, so let's get ourselves in there.
That's fair.
And unfortunately, I love Samoa Joe, but Joe Mox is a placeholder match, right? So,
Yeah, it is. Master P, I think, made this worse for me. His presence offered
didn't
nothing
care,
at best, and at worst was a bit of a detractor. I found him kind of annoying. I thought this was decent because there's a lot of moving parts here. The brawl was fine, but inconsequential. I thought Swerve looked badass coming out. And the Bucks are still furthering the angles with him, at least, which I think is more interesting. And Omega, I guess, because like Omega's stake in this seems weird to me.
the stink of current Mox is on this, and it's just like, I love Joe,
Yeah.
but I don't really care about Mox.
No, I
Which
love
is
seeing more
crazy.
Joe, so that's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
I did see it's on Beach Break though, so it's not even a pay per view match.
Right.
So
that
that
makes
makes me think
Joe wins.
it's
Certainty score of 1,000.
somewhere along the lines of Death Riders versus the Ops,
Mhm.
Anarchy in the Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I see it now. I'll call it my shot right now. Death Riders and the Bucks against the Ops, Omega, and Swerve.
Maybe.
Because it tends to be a 5-on-5.
Right.
And
That's 5.
that's how that math works.
That is math.
So I'm calling my shot right now.
I like
That's
it.
the match there. Whether that's, I don't know dates wise, whether that's before or after Mox versus Joe. I don't care.
Still calling it.
Still calling it.
Fair enough.
Then we get an interview with the Patriarchy. One of the more interesting things as of late. Nick Wayne's got the ROH TV title, as was what happened on Collision.
Good for him.
Yes. He said if it wasn't for, or Christian said if it wasn't for him, then he wouldn't be the champion, and he forced Nick to spread his wings. He took the belt from Nick as well, a la when Luchasaurus was TNT champion. He said they were proud of him. They all celebrated, and he celebrated with Mother Wayne extensively that night, which I thought was funny. He said when Nick listens, good things happen. Nick kind of stands up to him and says, when you stick to the plan, you actually win. So I thought that was great. Christian, and he kind of like grabbed the title back. Christian kind of pulls back for a second, and then gives the title back and said he loves his family, and then he leaves. So I really like this again because Nick's kind of slowly breaking out of the Christian shadow, becoming his own guy, and like we're kind of teasing that story here. And I like that we saw shades of old Christian holding the belt that's not his. It was a short bit, but I thought it furthered things really well. Like I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I liked it too. Again, it's like Nick wants to stand up to this prick that's Christian.
But he can't fully do it.
But A, he's clearly sleeping with his mom. It's like his stepdad, basically. And B, Christian is getting him opportunities and he's winning a title. And then I thought it was sort of symbolic too of when Nick stands up to him, Christian gives him the title back because Christian knows how to manipulate this kid and keep stringing him along. Like push him right to the edge and then pull him back with a title opportunity. Okay, here's your title back, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that dynamic.
I agree, I like that.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Then we get Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe for the opener. The AEW logo is back on the ring mat for the first time since 2019.
You did make a note. I said Jack comments on the ring mat logo.
At least there's not a bunch of other logos, including Dude
9
Wipes,
other logos there, yeah.
Dude Wipes and Fortnite and Saudi Arabia logo and Slim Jim and Cinemoji Toast Crunch or something like that. I don't know. Bald chance for Ricochet despite both men being bald.
Yep.
Which you gotta love that. Cactus elbow from the apron from Briscoe. He hit a Fisherman Buster, really nice for 2. Northern suplex straight into a Brain Buster for 2 from Ricochet. That's a really sweet sequence. He usually does. He goes for a springboard clothesline. Briscoe catches him. Big explosion suplex, gets a 2 count. Dream Valley driver and a basement lariat from Briscoe. Ricochet hit a really clean springboard 450 for 2. Like his is really smooth and clean. And then Fraser looks like he's like just like violently shirking it all over the place. Cannonball through the ropes from Briscoe. Then he throws Ricochet back in the ring. Big lariat turns Ricochet inside out for 2. The finish comes. Ricochet stacks Briscoe up with a pin. Tries to use the ropes for leverage. Briscoe counters it and pins Ricochet for the win. Ricochet with the chair attack after the match. Pulls scissors out. Kevin Knight runs out for the save. He gets the scissors from Ricochet, and Ricochet like hightails it out of there the second tables are turned.
Of course he does, because that's him. I was very surprised by the outcome here. Really good competitive match, though. Briscoe's really valuable, right? Because he doesn't need to really win. Crowd loves him.
But I'm kind of happy gotta win, you know?
Right, and that makes the crowd happy, and it also allows Ricochet to be a sore loser.
I think it works for Ricochet,
which they want as well. And then, like, not only is he a sore loser, but he goes straight to, like, trying to murder an innocent person, basically, right? And it gives Knight sort of a storyline for the first time. And
I agree, right?
A Knight Ricochet singles match would be really cool, pretty crazy. So, but he should probably avenge this loss first. Ricochet?
Or maybe this is him avenging the loss. I don't know.
I don't know.
That will be him avenging the loss.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, good match, and I like to be surprised by the outcome, which I was.
I agree pretty much everything you said. Like a solid match. I think the dynamic is good. Not even from an in-ring perspective, because both these guys always put in a good shift. But like everyone loves Briscoe. He's really popular, and everyone loves to hate Ricochet. So I think the crowd engagement is really good here for a TV match. And the action was generally really good. Nothing crazy, but just good quality all around. And I agree. Like, I'm glad we found a way to get Briscoe a win. A little surprising there. Works for Chicken Heel Ricochet and also sets up a potential feud with Knight, which is good for both of them.
Yep.
Kind of like a smaller feud for Ricochet after he lost the title match and lost to Swerve, and also get something to get Knight on TV more.
A good TV match that accomplished a lot, right? So
I agree.
It's smart.
Then we get FTR coming out. Stokely Hathaway comes out.
Bivens.
Yeah.
And you were like, whoa, that's a deep pull.
Yeah,
and I was
you
like, what do you
called
mean?
him Bivens.
And I was like, that's Bivens.
Hold on.
Hasn't been for a while.
No. He said FTR suspended and fined for accidentally hitting somebody and touching Shivani. He said he made a good point. Darby Allin set people on fire. Adam Page has committed arson. Ricochet shanks people with scissors. And Moxley's done a bunch of terroristic acts. Well, they all walk around unpunished. So I thought that was a really good point, actually.
Almost like too much. It's almost like you're exposing things a little bit. But yes, all great
I kind of liked it. Hathaway said he's going to have the suspension expunged from their record and ensure that the fine is reimbursed. So he's probably going to shake down Paul Turner for money. I'm just kidding. He said if you want to talk to FTR, now you have to talk with him because he's their new agent. Cash speaks now. He says Garcia was their friend. And he said he came to, or when he came to FTR, they helped him. They stopped beating the Tara 2.0 when he asked them to, and they pinned him in the match. They got him the TNT title. They put Garcia, Copeland, and AEW first, and it got them nothing. Dax spoke next, and he pointed out Rock and Roll Express being in the crowd. He invited them into the ring. And he said they had some of the greatest matches of all time. He asked about their greatest match, and then like as Ricky's about to talk, he would take the mic away and say what he thought his greatest match was. Asked their age, pulled the mic away, said they look 108. He did that again. They gave him the shirt that said they were Legend Killers. Spike Power Driver to Ricky Morton. Undisputed Era come out for the save, and FTR leave. Thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoy this.
I thought it was really good.
And I like the idea of Hathaway with them.
I agree. I was saying to you, like, I don't think they need a manager, but if they're like modern brainbusters, they need their Heenan, and Stokely's kind of in that mold. And if they're gonna be like dirty heels, I feel like Stokely's the guy that can help them cheat. So I think it kind of works, right?
And I like
he had a good promo.
They're also like, if they're going back to the like, we're just wrestle. We focus on wrestling. This guy can talk for us because we don't really need to speak.
Yeah,
just,
but
like,
then they can if they need to.
If they need to, yes. And we heard one loud fan easily here, and he made us laugh. I don't remember what he said exactly, but
it wasn't the only time either.
And I thought Hathaway's points were great, but I mean almost too good because you're kind of pointing out some problems with your show. But
he made some good points. I thought Cash sounded pretty solid too, and the heel logic was really on point.
And you know they love the Express, so they were so thrilled to be doing this.
I think that was cool,
old teams
because they have a history of liking them, especially in. I think this isn't even the first time they spiked Pile Driven them.
I don't think so either.
But I thought Dax was amazing. Like,
it's a good way to get heat too, right?
Being insulting and condescending to them while under the guise of idolizing them and complimenting them, and like constantly asking them things and taking them away. Like, I thought it was such a great way to get heat. I thought he was really entertaining, and the spiked Pile Driver was killer. I thought all around this was a really good job. Did a really good job of establishing heel FTR.
And I'm just thrilled to see FTR back on Dynamite with some sort of attention and direction
and like purpose,
because they've been sort of underused and not visible, and they're awesome. So
yeah, and it's different, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. Then we get the Bucks taking on Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. Nick hit Knight with his apron PK. Slingshot X Factor to Speedball, who is being held like wheelbarrow style by Matt. Backflip back to the apron, and then a moonsault from Nick onto Knight. So just the usual Nick Jackson smooth offense. Speedball kicks the tar to both Bucks. Hot tag out to Kevin Knight for the flurry. Body slam to Matt in the standing UFO for 2. Matt with the locomotive Northern Light suplexes on the last one. It's the double as usual. Knight gets hung on the top rope when we get that double foot stomp into the sit-up powerbomb, and then Nick like off that rolls through in a backstabber to Speedball, who's hung on the middle rope. And then Matt pinned Knight for 2. Just really great stuff from the Bucks there. Super kicks all around. The stereo kicks. Everybody gets down eventually. We get a chicken fight where they're on each other's shoulders and whatever. Bailey and Knight hit. So Knight does the thing where he does a standing drop kick to someone in a powerbomb position, but he does it into like a Project Ciampa from cool. Speedball for 2. Really cool stuff. Speedball hits springboard moonsault to the outside on Matt at the same time as Knight hitting a springboard splash to Nick for 2. PK and a standing moonsault knee drop from Speedball to Nick, followed by the UFO splash for 2. Matt broke the pin there. Off the barricade, Nick with the Doomsday device with Matt to Knight. Speedball went for his triangle moonsault on both Bucks. Gets caught. Meltzer driver, or I guess TK driver as they called it, on the floor. Double silent DDT from Knight. He went for a springboard later. Ricochet stops him while the ref isn't looking. That allows Matt to scout it, counters the springboard clothesline, rolls him right into the EVP trigger, and the Bucks pick up the win. A really great match here. You can say what you want about the Bucks, which I know you have as characters as dudes, but when the bell rings, they still know how to kill it. They really put a bad foot forward, and when you've got such entertaining opponents like Knight and Bailey, who we really like, it's hard not to put on something sick. I thought there's some mileage in a Speedball Kevin Knight team just because they had such cool stuff going on.
There is. I don't think it'll happen straight away either,
no, but they're not an actual team, and the Bucks need to rebuild. So this is a great match to have the Bucks return in.
Yes.
And it feels like this further sets up Ricochet and Kevin Knight. So there's a bit of progression there too, which I thought was nice.
And the involvement of Ricochet mitigates their loss
that as well,
too,
right? And I feel like Knight and Ricochet's a shoe-in to get penciled in for Beach Break. Yeah. I feel like the Bucks are always going to win this, but really quality tag wrestling, so I can't complain. I thought this was really stellar.
Yeah, this was an awesome match. Knight and Bailey were really cool together. I didn't love that these are 2 new guys that now lose, but you're right. It's like the ultimate tag team facing a cobbled together
With
tag
some
team with some
interference.
shenanigans.
So I think it's okay.
Great crowd reaction, awesome TV tag match. And maybe the return of the Bucks kickstart this division again because of their egos. They'll be like, we're back. So
whatever juices tag wrestling,
I
I'm
agree.
fine with that.
I'm okay with that. If that's how we have to get there, then let's do it.
I mean, I think even without them, I think obviously they're involved creatively to some degree, so they probably would say other stuff. But like, give them going, FTR is going, Hurt Syndicate have already revived things to a degree, I think. And like, there's some other teams floating around, so I'm hopeful at least.
Awesome TV tag match.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Tony Storm interviewed the usual double entendre crap. She's talking about the Women's Cup. She's gonna have an open challenge on Collision. Queen Aminata comes in, so they're gonna have a match. Cool to see Aminata back, but she's not getting squat, so meh.
I said she's trying to win Jack over with Star Wars references.
She main reference Empire Strikes Back. That's fine.
I find it still, I don't hate it as much as you, but it's more cringe than entertainment to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So we are very much in the minority there, but that's fine.
Then we hear from the Hurt Syndicate. MVP reminds that they hurt people. They said everyone they've faced has not come back, which is kind of true. Private Party, haven't seen him. Guns, haven't seen him. Which sucks because they came back and brought back Burning Daylight, and then we're like, okay, bye. And they won't see Gates of Agony in the future. Now is not their time. But he does put them over again, which I really like.
He does.
Lashley's about to speak, but thankfully MJF interrupts. He's shown on the Tron driving a sports car in. He tosses the keys to a guy, punches him in the groin, makes his entrance. He comes out and says, we know the Hurts. Oh, it says Hurt Business, TJR.
Whoa.
No, sir. Hurt Syndicate had a good time last week. He said, if they want a good time all the time, all he needs is 3 thumbs up. He gets them from MVP and Shelton. Shelton said he gave him the thumbs up because of MVP.
Remember when the guy in the crowd, he's like, I didn't give it to you because of the women, or there's like, you should have.
Yeah, that was one of the things, yeah. MJ said they all love Montel. He said they love Bob too, and the Bob chant gets going. Bobbert Lashes. He told Lashes to put the hand down. He said if he's in the Syndicate, they got all the power and all the gold. He says he knows his place better than anybody. He knows how to cut corners. He knows how to win by any means necessary better than anybody. He said if he's in the Syndicate, they'll run all of pro wrestling. And he's been a bit prickly towards Lashley. So after some struggle, he actually does say, I'm sorry. And he said if he gets a thumbs up, the car he drove in is Lashley's. And so Lashley wants to go take a look at it. So they all go backstage. Lashes and Shelton get in there. And MJF keeps saying, like, oh, yeah, you can check it out, whatever. If you give me a thumbs up, it's all yours. They drive off anyways, and he gives him the thumbs down, which I thought made him look kind of goofy. But
MJF, I agree. Like, why is the car running then? Like, let them check it out.
Why are you letting them go in there with the keys?
Right.
Anyways. You kind of made a point about the angle, which I kind of like a little more, was why.
It helps me, but
I'm still perplexed, but because it's not exactly communicated.
And I still go, what's the end game? Because he's not a tag team. He's not a tag guy.
I don't know what the end game is, but I do kind of like the reasoning being like he wants that admiration from the fans.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he's done, which the Hurt Syndicate and Hangman get.
They hurt people is their whole thing and do bad stuff, and people love them. And MJF can't admit that that's what he wants, but what he really wants is to be able to be the prick that he is.
And I'm sure getting the shortcut to the world title isn't angering him either, obviously.
No, and that's a cool story, but I don't know, there's something, and these segments are really long, they're just not grabbing me. It seems at this point like unlikely it leads to some type of match, so then I'm like, where are we going with this? I don't know, but maybe it's just a slow burn that I'm not seeing, and maybe I'll end up liking it.
Might be. Honestly, I'm still confused as well, but the headcanon kind of helps me out for me.
A little bit.
I thought the bit with the car made him kind of look goofy, but maybe it's like he has to play the game, I guess. I don't know. Kind of depends how you look at it. Then we get Hangman interviewed. Renee's asking him about his match with Fletcher. He said next time he sees Fletcher, he's going to beat him up or something like that. MJF comes in mocking Paige's haircut. Hangman trashes him and talks about he tells him if he's gonna come talk crap he can get away in his car, but then obviously his car is gone, which I thought was kind of a nice dig there. MJF made fun of him for having to work his way through the Owen while he's gonna go through the back door with the Hurt Syndicate and become the world champion again. And he said MJF can't win matches or hang with him, and MJF made a point that they're 1-on-1. So if they have a match again, he's sending Seabiscuit back to the glue factory.
That's funny.
And he said if Paige gets to the finals of the Owen, he will choke.
Yeah, it's kind of like MJF's all over the place right now with nothing concrete.
But
Which doesn't mean there isn't. Again, maybe
I'm
just
glad
not
we're
aware.
revisiting this regardless, because
Yeah.
this is what I wanted.
Yeah, it is. So that in MJF is funny here, and Hangman don't love his new haircut,
Yeah.
but he's cool.
I think like I do want more of this feud. I'm glad we're keeping the door open, and I'd love to see more. But I feel like there's also a chance like you could put MJF here to sow some doubt for Hangman before the big finals. Like
Yeah,
embrace that self-doubting, vulnerable side, perhaps. Maybe not, but I'm okay with that.
or maybe MJF gets actually involved too, right?
Perhaps, which would be interesting because he also has beef with Ospreay from last year. So I don't know.
With everybody.
Yeah. Hangman's supposed to be Fletcher, but let's not act like we don't already know. But these guys are great together, so I really like this.
Yep.
Speaking of Ospreay, he's teaming with Brodeth King against Joshua Alexander and Konosuke. That's his first name regularly. Takeshita. It was weird that because it was only Takeshi's theme and the Ospreay's theme, but I feel like Brody King coming into Ospreay's entrance
doesn't fit.
It is not.
And Callis sits on commentary, obviously.
Ospreay and King hit a double shoulder tackle to Takeshita. Then King slams Alexander on Takeshita and drops Ospreay on both of them. Ospreay goes for a springboard. Takeshita pulls him down, and he's seated on the apron for that crossbody through the ropes from Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Brody King hot tag flurry. He misses the first time and then comes back with a heavy layer to Takeshita. He sits Alexander and Takeshita on a chair, running crossbody against the barricade. A really great sequence from Ospreay and Takeshita, ending in a Blue Thunder Bomb from Takeshita for 2. King hits the cannonball to Alexander, kick at the win. Archer distracts the ref. Ospreay goes for a springboard forearm. Alexander meets him with the forearm and a powerbomb. King takes a ripcord into a double forearm from Takeshita and Alexander, then a double rolling elbow for 2. Power drive knee on King and the C4 spike. Callis boys actually get the win, which is a little surprising to me.
I like to see it though, because they're a strong group right now.
After the match, the Callis boys beat down King and Ospreay. Archer with a huge choke slam to Ospreay looked awesome. Fletcher's music hits, he walks out, gets in Ospreay's face, but Hangman's music hits, he makes his way down. He gets jumped by Roppongi Vice from behind because Trent made his return on Collision and Rocky Romero joined them.
Yeah, makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah. Hangman gets beat down the ring, drilled with a brain buster from Fletcher.
Another really strong tag match, but really different from the first one, right? This
was
not
more the same. Like another really good one.
This was like more power technical, and the Bucks was high speed.
Yeah. Takeshi and Alexander also mileage as a team. I think they're so smash mouth and just kick ass. I loved it. I think King Ospreay has some cool chemistry as a big man, little man too.
Love the C4 being there and
I'm surprised they still use it
as a finisher. Yes. It finished Brody King, who's a pretty tough guy.
And Takeshi's knee, so at least it was like kind of like
Callis family keep looking strong, which I think they should because the group's awesome.
Their roster is stacked. Yeah.
Other than Trent and Rocky feeling a little bit,
even Archer
tacked on, but
Archer at least looked cool.
And I thought the aftermath was cool because it presented Fletcher as the clear alpha of that group, the way he comes out, right? And it's sort of like he's the man.
I don't like it. I miss when it was Takeshita.
I think Fletcher makes sense right now.
Yeah, I'm all for making Fletcher look dominant before he loses next week. So there's also that. Like at least we're kind of beefing him up before he takes the loss inevitably.
2 very good tag matches on the show, which is nice.
Tag wrestling's back, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Then we get Statlander and Jamie Hayter in the women's Owens.
This is the main event?
Owens finals. Sorry, I meant semifinals.
Yeah.
I'll fix that in my notes that I'll never look at. I misspelled semifinals. Okay, so I'm gonna fix it in the notes I'm never looking at again. Okay, there we go. Never looking at it again. Statlander goes for a moonsault off the apron, but Hayter sidesteps it, and Statlander hits the floor. Like just usually they land on their feet though, but let's just flat bump on the floor, so that looked nasty. Boot from Hayter. Deadlift German from Statlander for 2, and like a quick one too.
Yeah,
right. I like that.
It was.
Statlander dops Hayter. Drops. She drops Hayter face first out of an electric chair, then double knees to the back for 2, kind of like a back meteora.
It was
weird.
Yeah.
Striker continues, and Hayter runs the ropes. Statlander with a pop-up powerbomb. Hayter comes back with a hate breaker. An iffy 450 from Statlander for 2, like where her feet hit the mat too early, so it was kind of not great.
I think Evans did that on NXT this week too.
Statlander usually nails it to her credit, so no fault to her there.
Sorry, it was the main event. He did that, I think. Anyways.
Like the Stand Deliver? No. NXT main event?
Maybe it was NXT... The show? Did he wrestle? Oh, he did with Bourne. I don't know. At some point, his feet hit and it took some impact away.
Hayter pulls Statlander off the turnbuckles in a lariat, then Haterade for the win. So Hayter versus Monet in the finals.
Yeah.
Not as good as the women's match last week, but still another really solid one and a main event for them. So
it was good, yeah.
Good for them. Second week in a row, we've had a good women's match, so I'm not complaining.
No, me either.
They got going pretty strong from the beginning, so they made the most of their time. Like, it was pretty fast-paced from the beginning, so, like, it was just action. One thing that they're going for them, I feel, was like it could have gone either way. Like I think I would have leaned towards Hater.
I wasn't sure who was going to win.
I was leaning towards Hater, but I do think it could have gone either way. So I liked it still. And I like Statlander more personally, but I do think Hater Monet is better because it's a fresher match. So because we've seen Statlander twice, like we already talked about, really great matches, right? So, yes. But this is fresher for sure. She needs some love too. I would like her to be Monet. I doubt
she's not. She's being fed to Monet, but
I would like her too, though.
So yeah, this was the story of like they're both kind of evenly matched powerhouse women, and I thought there was a sequence right near the beginning that really, when it was ended in the kip up. Remember, they were doing similar stuff, shoulder tackle, tackle, then.
Exactly.
Really good. So very good match with some decent stakes attached, right? So not a red hot main event, but a good one for sure. I wasn't sure who would win, so I always like that. And I'm happy for Hater because since she came back, we've been saying it, like she was not presented well upon her return. So I imagine she's losing to Monet at this point, but I don't know. She still picked up a quality win here. So yeah, a good main event. And, like I would say 3 good matches on this show. Haven't thought about my overall grade for it yet, but just sort of scanning back through, like love the one tag match. Really like the other one. Ricochet Briscoe was good. Patriarchy segment was good.
FTR.
Master P was kind of a downfall. FTR was good. This was a very good show as I'm sort of scrolling through it right now. Not quite as good as last week.
No, but
I'd say a B plus still.
I think it's a good B plus. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A very enjoyable Dynamite again.
And then I was telling you I got my trivia idea.
Oh, are you doing that this week?
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, awesome. So I did one, but I didn't love it, so I don't have to do it.
I do like my idea. We'll see how it works out.
Okay, so I have no idea what it is, but we'll do it now. We call it Off the Top of His Head, but it's my head this week, which is definitely not a very good idea, but we'll see how it goes. Let's do that now. I am intrigued, so let's go.
Okay, so it's not entirely based on what you do or don't know. I mean, it kind of is, but like, I just thought it'd be funny. It's called Guess the Fake 24/7 Champion because there's so many ridiculous ones that I thought it'd be funny to look at that, but also make it trivia-ish.
Go.
So I got, since it's 24/7, I did not 24, but half of that, which is 12.
Okay.
So I got 12 plus 2 bonus ones that are slightly different.
Okay.
So 14-ish, I guess. We won't do points because it's not really. It's just for shits and giggles.
Let's do it.
Okay. Which of the following people have not held the 24/7 title? R-Truth, Drake Maverick, Reggie, or The Miz? Did I put him in? I might put him in again.
I'll say Miz.
Miz is the one, yeah.
I'm a genius.
Okay, I need to.
Because R-Truth, duh. He's like, that's his title.
Question. Who else could I put in? I got it. Never mind. I can fix one on the fly right now because I'm just smart like that. Okay, so that one, yes, you're good. Then I got one for women, who's not held it.
Okay.
Dana Brooke, Tamina, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan.
I will say Nikki Cross.
Nope, she's held it as Nikki Ash, and she's the last one. Liv is the one. Yeah.
That was the other one I was going to go with.
Okay. Number 3. These are all people who are now in AEW.
Okay.
Which of the following have not held the title?
Yep.
Scott Dawson, aka Dax Harwood, Dash Wilder, aka Cash Wheeler, Shelton Benjamin, aka Shelton Benjamin, and Buddy Murphy, aka Buddy Matthews.
Buddy feels like he would have. I didn't think either of FTR, so you got both of them on there.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, who was the other one?
Shelton.
I'll go Cash.
No, it was Buddy.
Damn it. Really?
Yeah.
He was the one I was most confident because he was like,
that's why I
put him there. About him.
That's why I thought it would be a smart one.
Nice.
All right. Next, we have people who are also good, probably shouldn't have held it.
Okay.
Okay. It is who has not held it?
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Alexander, the Brian Kendrick, Robert Roode, or Eric of the War Raiders?
Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kendrick.
I was just like, I felt like the timing didn't line up.
I think it might have slightly, but I also wasn't sure. I also didn't count on you noticing that.
Yeah.
You typically don't tend to notice
I
that.
do not. Just felt that way.
Next, we're going not current women.
Okay.
I for some of these I
Don't even remember that many
I
women
categorized
holding
it, and then as it gets stupider, I did not.
Okay.
Which of the following have not held the 24/7 championship? Candice Michelle, Kelly Kelly, Alundra Blaze, or Santina Marella? They're all women.
I'll go. Sorry, say them again.
Candice Michelle, Kelly Kelly. So nice. I did have to say it twice because you asked me to. And Alundra Blaze and Santina Marella.
Candice Michelle.
Nope, Santina.
Damn it.
Candice Michelle's such a weird one. Okay.
I also felt her timeline and Kelly Kelly's didn't line up.
They don't, but like, because they came back as legends.
Okay. Legends, yeah.
Which of the following people have not held the 24/7 championship? Corey Graves of commentary, Byron Saxon also of commentary, ring announcer Mike Rome, the one with like the super spiked up hair usually, and Dio Madden, aka Mace, but he was on commentary around this time.
Why would any of them? I'll go Rome.
Nope, Dio Madden.
Damn it. The actual wrestler.
Yeah, the one only. Well, Corey Graves and Byron used to be wrestlers.
True.
Obviously not at the time this title was around, but you know. Anyways, all right. This is where it gets more amusing for me. Which of the following have not held the 24/7 championship? And I did specify on these people just because I thought it sounded funnier, and also because you won't know some of them.
Oh.
A, NASCAR driver Kyle Busch.
Yep.
B, Greg Miller from WWE's show This Is Awesome. WWE senior account manager Michael Giacchio, maybe, or Enes Kanter of the Boston Celtics. One of them did not hold this
I think
title.
Kanter did.
That is correct. I'll eliminate that for you just because.
I'll take the guy you struggled to pronounce.
Nope, it was Greg Miller. He has not held it.
Greg Miller.
I hate him. Which of the following have not held the 24/7 title? Rob Gronkowski, Mayor Glenn Jacobs of Knoxville, Tennessee, I think, or Knox County, whatever it is.
I feel like Gronk did.
Kane or Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
Nope, it's Kane.
I was going to say Bad Bunny because it's beneath him.
See, it was a funny trick because he held it as Mayor Glenn Jacobs, but not as Kane. You may note they are the same person.
So then you're wrong.
Nope, I'm right. Technically, it wasn't Kane.
All right.
That's
if
why I
took
the
win with Becky Lynch, you can have that one.
Okay. Number 9. Who has not held the title? Former quarterback from something, Doug Flutie. Peter Rosenberg of the thing he does.
I think.
EC3 or the Easter Bunny. And I do mean the Easter Bunny.
Doug Flutie.
No, it's the Easter Bunny.
Damn it. Doug Flutie held it?
Yeah.
Canadian legend.
Do you actually know who that is?
He's a CFL quarterback.
Okay, I don't know.
He was in the NFL too, like a beloved Canadian dude.
Okay. Who has not held the 24/7 title? Adam Rose's bunny, not to be confused with the Easter Bunny, the Adam Rose Bunny.
I think he did.
The Gobbledygooker, Santa Claus, literal Santa Claus, or Marshmallow, the musical DJ guy. You know, mute his music. That guy.
Who was second there?
Gobbledygooker. And then it was also Santa Claus and Marshmallow and Adam Rose's bunny.
I'll take Marshmallow.
Nope, Adam Rose's bunny.
Damn it. I knew Santa Claus was not going to be it.
Santa Claus was.
Adam Rose's bunny didn't? I had visions of like the bunny was somebody else. And
that, yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that
was
true.
Way before.
Timeline issues.
I was counting on you not knowing that.
I didn't.
Okay, who has not held it? These are all referees.
Oh, boy.
Referee Sean Bennett. Referee Eddie Orengo. Charles Robinson, Lil H, or Daphne LaShawn, a.k.a. No, it's Charles Robinson.
Damn it.
She's the one that's married to Leon Ruff.
Couldn't give Lil H some gold?
Nope.
How dare you?
The final one of the regular ones. Which of the following have not held the 24/7 title? Sunil Singh, the one guy with Jinder Mahal. Gerald Briscoe, the one guy with Redacted. Samir Singh, the other guy with Jinder Mahal. Or Lana, the guy with Rusev.
Lana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Bonus question number 1. These are my favorites.
Okay.
Which of these title changes did not happen? So this is where it gets really funny for me. All right. So these ones have 5 options. One of them is still not real.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to focus. Deep focus.
Okay. Number 1, the Revival won the title together and became co-champions. Number 2, Ted DiBiase bought the title from Alundra Blaze. Okay. R-Truth won it under the ring. Pregnant Maria Kanellis ordered husband Mike Kanellis to lay down and forfeit the title to her. Or Drake Maverick won it and then ran to an elevator. It came up a floor. Truth won the title in the elevator.
Give me the first two again.
Revival won the title as co-champions, and DiBiase purchased the title from Alundra Blayze.
I think the FTR one.
Nope, that one's real.
Which one was fake?
The elevator one.
Really? I was like, oh yeah, that happened for sure.
I know. I had to get creative.
Nice.
The FTR one I thought would be funny just because you love them.
I do. And that's how well respected they were in WWE.
Exactly. Okay. Last one is, again, which title change did not happen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Santa Claus. Oh wait.
We know he held it now.
Okay, this one I only have 4 because I messed it up. Santa Claus gets it to R-Truth for a Christmas wish.
Okay.
Drake Maverick won the title dressed as Carmella, complete with fake boobs. Rick Boogs won the title portraying a character in an Old Spice commercial. Or R-Truth beat Drake Maverick at his own wedding.
I feel like the wedding thing happened, or something happened around Drake Maverick's wedding.
Something happened at and around his wedding. So that one.
What was the first one?
R-Truth gets it from Santa as a Christmas wish.
Second one?
Drake Maverick winning the title dressed as Carmella, complete with fake boobs.
I'll take that one.
Nope, the Santa Claus one's fake.
Damn it. Nice.
I really like the Rick Boogs one. That one's funny.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
I also forgot about him.
That was fun. Yeah. I enjoyed that. That's a lot of 24/7. A lot like that just encapsulates how stupid that title really was.
That's what I thought would be funny because there's a lot of stupid stuff.
Good job. And I got a couple, not many, but a couple. All right, I think our final segment, we're going to quickly speed run through a couple shows we watched and some notable stuff, which there was actually a lot on Raw. So we'll talk about it in our segment called Highspots and Restholds. Raw was, at the very least, eventful. I enjoyed it. It wasn't a ton of wrestling, but lots of important stuff or eventful stuff, notable stuff happened.
High spots,
returns and factions and whatnot. Lots of high spots, yes. So Cena starts out being a jerk, hating on the fans for the most part. I can't remember what he was saying specifically. I liked some of it. I pared it down so much because I thought we were going to be so lengthy this week. And then Orton comes out from under the ring and hits an RKO, right? So that's where we're going with that. And I saw a video of like he was disguised as ring crew so he could sneak under the ring sort of thing.
That's what they do is like they'll, even mid-show sometimes.
But he's so big, it's hard to hide him, right?
They dim the lights and like sometimes bring people under a towel or like make them look like ring crew and sneak them under as they're just doing ring maintenance or something.
Yeah. Lyra and Becky get a one-day reign as tag champs. And we noticed right away, like, it kind of weird because they come out to Lynch's theme, right? And Lyra's the one that's like a singles champ. But anyways, Paxi and Dolan are in the front row because they're the next challengers for that.
Literally the next, because
on
next
NXT,
day.
Yeah. So Becky got taken out on the floor, and then Lyra took the Oblivion for the loss. At one point, there was a pretty nice power bomb by Rodriguez to Lyra. The match got 13 minutes. It was pretty good. Lynch turns on Lyra after the match, right? That's the notable thing here. Looks like we're getting an IC title feud for them coming up. I actually thought this was better than the pay-per-view one. So,
for what it's worth.
Otis and others come out to interrupt the New Day because the New Day are doing their talking as tag champs.
But what's the real reason?
Because Rusev comes out and kills them.
On Rusev Day.
It was Rusev Day.
That's the crazy timing is that, unlike Aleister Black, he did not keep his old theme.
He looks in phenomenal shape, doing Machka kicks and the accolade,
it's weird,
right?
Like, he's got the same Miro-ish look from AEW, so it's like, to me, he doesn't look like Rusev. He looks like Miro, because Miro would look different from Rusev.
He did.
So, you get it.
And he looks super jacked right now.
Yeah. Random spot to put him in, which I've seen people complain about.
Like, you're coming out for tag teams and stuff, but I guess he's going to kill Tozawa and then kill Otis.
I guess, but still.
And then kill Maxine. I don't know. But he's there. I'm interested to see where they go with him, and I think I feel like it's going to be the same. They'll do a little bit with him, and then he'll settle into like being underused.
Kind of like, people want to talk about AEW not doing great with him, but like it's kind of his thing. But like even with Andrade, they brought him back, juiced him for a bit, and didn't care.
I see Rusev as super comparable to that.
Right? Aleister Black, I even worry about.
I do too.
Right? So like,
although Triple H supposedly loves him.
He supposedly loves DIY.
True.
wrestling and tag
loves
team
tag
wrestling,
team wrestling in general.
right?
No.
Mello even. Oh
Yeah.
no, Mello wasn't really his time, but like you know what I mean. And so, yeah, people want to talk about AEW butchering some of these guys and how much like they do them better, but that's only NXT.
You can't, with a bloated roster, give everyone attention. That's just how it is.
That's why, like, with
Time is a
NXT, they're
finite
able to give
resource.
such great time to the new AEW guys like Paige and Starks.
Yeah.
But then if they're the ones that return to the main roster, and if they're not a shiny new thing like Penta or Phoenix, then they get dusted.
That's
pretty
right.
quick.
Io and Vaquer had a really strong match that got interrupted by Roxanne Perez and then Julia. Io was out talking, celebrating her win, and Vaquer kind of interrupted. Pierce then made the match like starting now type thing. Ended in no contest. So I wasn't sure. Is this a new heel pairing of Perez and Julia?
I don't think so.
Seems like Perez is like, I didn't know she was going to come out.
I doubt it.
Sort of thing. So it doesn't look like it.
I think it was just your token NXT champion on the Raw after show because they've done that last couple years.
And then Ripley comes out, takes out Perez, stares down Julia. Vaquer again, super over. It looks like Julia is heel because it was kind of like, is she heel or is she just really after the title? Looks like she's heel. Jey Uso says things in the ring, and Sammy comes out to congratulate him. And my God, is Sammy so good that he almost made me happy. Like, he's so proud, and they're almost teasing for a minute, like,
I feel like it's got to be somewhat real because they've
real.
Worked together for so long.
But Sammy's
right?
so good at it.
Yeah, Sammy
like, I love
can
you,
sell
you're my
it,
brother. Because there's a minute where you're like, is Sammy here to turn heel or whatever? And it's like, nope, total nothing but love for Jay. Jimmy comes out as well. Sammy's just he should be teaching promo classes at the PC, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah, when he's done.
He just feels real all the time. He was great. So yeah, awesome. And then Logan Paul, man, this was different because, I feel like the longer scripted promos, he comes across, I don't know, it's not my favorite, and he's so naturally likable. He was such a dismissive prick to Kathy Kelly here that I really enjoyed it. It's basically like, I won and the rest is details. So you're talking about what now? Like, kind of like, the like whatever, all the shenanigans with Cross and all that. And he's just kind of like, so like, who cares? Like, I won. And I thought he was really good. Felt more natural than some of the stuff he's done. So I enjoyed it. Cross and Styles interact backstage. Cross wants AJ to be evil, basically. AJ won't do it. At the end, Styles tells Cross to solve the problem himself. And Cross says, maybe I will. So wherever the big plans for Cross are coming out of there. We'll see. Feud with AJ, I guess. I don't know.
I thought he was kind of already doing that.
He's been trying to just make AJ go back to be an evil AJ. And AJ's like, I'm not going back to do it. Maybe you should because you just lost to Logan Paul at Mania, but whatever.
And you're going to lose to me because I'm getting pushed.
That's right. Big, huge plans for
him.
Gunther's pissed, kills commentary. So he snatches Cole's headset. Looks like he's going to attack Cole. McAfee steps in and Gunther chokes the crap out of him.
Apparently Gunther got suspended off of this, in kayfabe, obviously. So I feel like it might just be to write him off for a bit since he just lost, and we're just going to kind of wait him out.
And like I said, McAfee's replaced by Tessitore. So I said I liked it because Gunther looks kind of like a badass because he choked out McAfee, but also kind of gutless because he's like attacking commentators because he lost. So it's kind of like low-hanging fruit. So I don't know where it's going, but yeah, maybe he's just gone because I don't need a McAfee Gunther program. So Gunther being gone for a bit is fine. And then he'll show up on SmackDown and whatever and kill people. Dom Mysterio beat Penta to retain the Intercontinental title after JD McDonough returns to interfere in the finish.
I think his shirt's 6 on the back. It's like got like a lung skeleton. It says Iron Lung. His shirt's dope.
He should have done more because all he really did was push Penta off the ropes. It made Penta kind of look weak, I thought.
A little bit, but JD McDonough.
And then
Balor looked like he didn't know.
Right. I think that's the route they're going.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
And so is that going to alienate him further?
I think McDonough's the middleman.
Right.
Between Balor and Dom.
I think that too. And it feels like fake Dom. It feels like Dom will win by shenanigans a lot, and he should.
Yeah.
Right, because it's not like...
Not
the point is you're not the best wrestler, but you just win because you're such a heel. Yeah. So that's fine.
And then you build it up to where there's a triple threat at SummerSlam, and now JD McDonough wins the title.
So McDonough's back, Rusev's back, Lynch is turning heel, like lots of stuff. And
which of those do you think is most exciting to me?
JD McDonough.
Yeah.
funny AI video fell out for El Grande Americano again, really hyping how great he is and how big his win over Phoenix was. Kind of similar to the previous ones they've done. Still working for me. Main event segment. I don't know how much you want to.
Oh, you want me to do that, right?
Yeah, talk about that. So it's Heyman and Seth out in the ring.
Yeah. They were kind of singing along and cheering at first, and then as the promo gets started, they start booing Rollins, which
Yeah.
I was happy with because I was like, don't.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rollins says he took Roman's wise man, Punk's best friend. Then Punk comes out, brawls with Rollins. He's about to go after Heyman. Rollins gouges his eyes, curb stomp. Heyman touts Rollins as the new undisputed top star in the industry. Roman comes out, spear to Rollins, Superman punch to Heyman. He's lining up the spear for Heyman. Then he runs up. Someone flies in with a spear. It's Breaker, obviously.
The black hoodies, man, they love that.
Yeah. I do like he just like takes it off. He's just immediately angry and shouty.
Was very much so.
Then he runs around the ring and demolishes Reigns with the spear through the barricade, which normally I don't like that spot, but Braun comes in with such
it's believable
ferocity and speed and just power that
I like how he starts out slow and then speeds fast. Yeah. Like he gathers speed.
It looks like he's actually checking Roman through there.
He's no Braun Strowman, but
yeah. Rollins orders him to bring Roman back in. He stomps Punk, tells Roman the future runs through him, stomps Roman. They all pose in the ring.
And there was a moment where you're like, is Braun just doing this on his own? And then he sort of like
Rollins' expression changes, kind of like it did at Mania, right? I saw this and I was just like, this is awesome.
I'm into this as well. Like, this is a great spot for Braun to sort of.
I think it also makes Rollins and Heyman's thing more interesting.
It does.
It feels like a new. People call it evolution, but I think more so Dangerous Alliance because that's been Heyman's thing.
Yeah,
and this could be his WWE version. I've seen theories and I agree. I think that we could put Becky as your women's linchpin, and then I've seen people like you could have a tag team in there. Maybe like A-Town Down Under to be kind of interesting. Give them something to do, or I guess New Day since already heels. Like I don't know.
And then I was saying long term, Braun could turn face and feud with Rollins because Rollins is holding him back, and
I can see that be him happening eventually. Yeah,
that can be him ascending to main event status.
And I think Rollins has to beat Jay for the world title because then that would legitimize this group and also take it off of Jay.
Get it off of Jay. He had his moment in the main event. Opener of Mania.
Right. But I think this is really, really cool. It makes me more excited about heel Rollins because I really like the prospect of heel Rollins right now. And I think Breaker's awesome. I think this kind of boosts him up the card without giving him the world title yet. And it's cool for Heyman because I think it's a cool spot for him to do something interesting again with the group.
Yeah.
Since the bloodline kind of fizzled out a while ago.
Vast majority of time, Raw smashes main event segments. Like they feel big, they're interesting, they're well done. Like,
I thought this was a really cool way to end it.
Too.
It was something I went out of my way to check out.
I really enjoyed it as well. I think it's a cool development. So this was sort of like the way the Raw after Manias are supposed to be, right? Like we're seeing
some notable returns, some cool developments.
Kind of like a reset or whatever you want to call it, and new things are happening and new people are here and new directions are being. So I thought it was a really fun Raw, even though the in-ring was minimal. There was it felt like important, and we're sort of finding out where it's like a new season of Raw started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like the last couple of years they've slacked on the Raw after Mania.
And it used to be like it was can't miss TV.
It used to be the one Raw we would always watch even when we stopped watching.
That's right.
And this felt like something I would have done even though I didn't.
It delivered. I enjoyed it. NXT started out with Paxley and Dolan getting their title shot. I don't know why they lost. Obviously, the champs retained Tahana Bomb, Oblivion to Dolan. 11 minutes.
I was telling you, I thought the venue looked cool.
Yeah.
It looked like a music hall or something.
Yeah. I don't know the point of this. The average tag match, like a barely established team loses a title shot. What do the champs get out of this? I don't know.
A win after losing, but winning.
Right. So I didn't see
now
the point.
it's like they lost and won, so they were even. This is like them in the overall week coming up on the positive since they lost one, but then won two right away.
That's some mental gymnastics.
So in the span of 3 days, they're up positive.
Up one. Penn and Teller agree to make the Heritage Cup reappear, but only if King agrees to defend the title. He agrees, wants to know who his opponent is. They won't tell him. It's going to be a surprise. So, okay. And a great surprise. Spoiler. Lexis King interrupts a Ricky Saints promo to set up a match between the two of them for next week. And at the time this interview happens, it's Cup versus title match. And then in a Saints later interview, Paige shows up, attacks him, Paige shows up, is about to say something to Saints, but King shows up and attacks Saints and takes him out. And then Paige just says something like, we'll talk about this later or something, which I thought was kind of fun. Henley continues to have issues with Jane and Nyx. Don't really know why or remember why. They want Henley to handle Thea Hale. She's like, you need to take care of them. And then JC Jane is like, you handle her on your own. So it's like, oh my goodness, gasp. And the surprise return that I'm most excited about, King's mystery opponent is Noam Dar. He's not dead.
Oh, it was so funny. I forgot to tell you, but at TNA's last pay-per-view thingy, Victoria Crawford was in the crowd.
Who is?
Alicia Fox.
Short match. I thought Dar looked really. I just love his style, man. He just everything looks really good, even though he's
looking clean. He's looking fresh with the haircut.
He looked great. He won with that back elbow we love so much,
which looked good, but not as good as it has before. And also, I like the Nova Roller. The Champagne Super Knee Bar.
I'm really hoping he brings the Heritage Cup rules back, because I feel like they took him away because they wanted King to have something, and he can't really. He's getting better in ring. I've liked some of his matches, but he's not a dude who's like a technical wizard. So
I feel like we should also Old Yeller the cup.
I don't know.
Because I think without Dar, it kind of
If you make the rules back, it is Dar. It's his cup now.
But like,
bring it back and make that division.
It can't be Dar forever.
So then you have like Dempsey again, or Tavion Heights, or like
bring Pete Dunne back.
Cool people. Anyways, Henley ends up losing to Thea Hale Kimura in 4 minutes, and to further the storyline,
still no Eddie Edwards.
JC Jane, I don't think so. JC Jane accidentally hit Henley with a boot, leading to the finish. So you get returning Hale a win, furthers the issues with Henley and the rest, which I guess is productive. But who really cares? Like, who am I sympathizing with? If the toxic, fatal influence, if they split, who's getting my sympathy?
That was the same issue with Dolan and Jane.
Like, who?
You said the exact same thing. I remember.
Who cares? Who am I supposed to be like? Yeah, they deserve.
It's like
their
you have to feel bad for one of them because they're like one of them became more heel. Like,
I feel like
one of them doesn't change. One of them becomes more heel.
Right. I feel like Henley's the only one you have a shot of making likable. So I guess
I feel like you could do a thing with Nyx where you make the veterans like bully veterans, and because she's the only one, even though they don't like rookies,
they hate rookie NIL people only except her,
right? But you could do something where they like start to be bitches to her or whatever, and like you could make her the babyface, but they're not doing that, obviously.
You could, yeah.
So I'm just saying, if you needed a logical turn, then you could do that.
You could. It'd be something. Oba's in the ring, putting over Javon Evans quite a bit. Trick interrupts. Trick whines about not being pinned. He wants a one-on-one match for the title. Joe Hendry comes out, basically calls Trick entitled. Trick says that Joe got his 5 minutes on Mania and lost, and Hendry is basically like, at least I was on the card, sort of thing. Then Hendry and Femi quickly take out Trick and kind of have a stare down. So looks like that's where we're going.
Champion versus champion.
So but like, and again, he just lost to Randy Orton in 3 minutes. So if he's even competitive with Oba Femi, yet again, you're going, anyone on main roster is absolutely head and shoulders above anyone on NXT.
But then Javon had a competitive match with Orton.
Right.
So Javon's therefore above everybody in TNA.
Yes.
Because Joe's the world champion.
That's the hierarchy.
Yes.
Did you see any of the family update stuff in your travels?
No.
So Stax meets Luca Crucifino in a desert somewhere. And then he's like, Stax is basically like, kind of like, what do you think we're here for or whatever? And then Luca ends up going, oh, and he almost says the F word and it cuts away. So I think we're led to believe that Stax is going to kill him.
That means he's getting called up, because remember they killed Pretty Deadly and then they went to main roster.
Because that's the mafia trope, right? Is you take them out and you make them dig their own grave and then shoot them and throw them in it.
That, or you throw them in a river.
That's right. So yeah, that is one too. Lennox and Griffin beat Bourne and Evans in 10 minutes because they interacted backstage and they were like telling Bourne, like, you're the crappy wrestler out of the no quarter catch crew. And then Evans was like, I've got your back, or vice versa. Bourne has his back or whatever. So they ended up tagging together so that Bourne could take the double power bomb and the pin, obviously. But again, solid, but Dark State's not losing, and that Evans isn't taking the fall here. So it was pretty obvious.
Give Evans a North American
But
belt.
Griffin is being presented as a powerhouse still, and it's kind of working. Like, he looks pretty dominant, honestly.
His name's stupid, but
I don't hate it. It's no dumber than the random name generators they use generally.
Oh, it is from a generator, 100%.
So then Tony meets the Riz in a hotel room, and this made me laugh too because it's like super urgent and did anyone follow you? Blah blah blah. Like everything's so dangerous.
Because mobsters.
Rizzo needs to go to a safe house because of Stax. They wonder where Luca Crucifino is. So I'm like, Stax did like a super standard wrestling thing by turning on Tony, right? Low blow, whatever. And now it's like they're all deathly afraid of him, even though he did what 1,000 wrestlers do every year. So I don't know, weird. Chase U's back, so everything was meaningless. He put the Chase U's back.
With new people though.
But he put it on the line, and it was dead and gone, and forever to be. And now it's just like, nope, it's back.
Mick the Maharaja Rogan,
what?
Or Hawk Meat Hook Sanchez. These are my generated wrestling names.
Oh, nice. Main event: Vaquer versus Perez. You actually were in the room for this one.
Did I pay attention? No.
Good match. Vaquer retains after 12 minutes with the SVB after a dragon screw out of the corner. Outcome not in doubt. Vaquer is doing the like fighting champion, which is good because people love her. So get her on all the time. Get her lots of wins. Get her lots of momentum. What is going on with Roxanne Perez? She main roster? Is she not? Remember, we have big plans for her.
They were waiting to have a plan. So then they brought it up in the run up to Elimination Chamber. And
it's
like,
like, oh, she's feuding with Bailey, and
maybe we thought we picked her to win that. Remember? Yeah. And we are like, oh, because they have a plan for her. This is the plan for her. She's gonna feud with Bailey.
Nope.
No.
So I don't know what's going on or what roster she's on, but she lost here. Pretty entertaining match. They're both really talented, so not a surprise. So not as eventful as Raw, but a fine NXT show. Noam Dar coming back was kind of the highlight for me. Love him. Don't know what the family's doing, but I guess we'll find out. Either Crucifino's dead or not.
Or like, buried alive match.
There you go. We solved it. Cracked the code. But anyways, that's going to bring us to the end of episode 249. Not quite as lengthy as I thought because we kind of went through stuff quickly, but I like it. We'll wrap up there. We'll be back here next week for episode 250, another milestone for us. Thanks for joining us, taking some time out of your week to listen to us talk about wrestling. Come back next Saturday, tell somebody about us, make them listen as well. Comment, subscribe, like, whatever follow you can do. Let us know your thoughts on Mania, if you agree or disagree with us on any of the matches and things. See you back here next Saturday. Until then, everybody, take care.